Welcome to the stream, everyone. We're starting now.
Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. My name is Recordhead. I am an aspiring game dev and a good friends with all these lovely people. Osric, hello.
Hello.
He created Viscera Fest and is currently still working on it. Make sure to look out for that. Hakita, as you all know him, aka Heaven Piercer, creator of Ultra Kill and the OST. Mingo, weapons designer for Shrine 2 and other helpful with that. He helped with that. Come and say hello. Peter, this is his Twitch channel. If you don't know him, I don't understand why you're here. Say hi.
Hello.
Scumhead, main developer of Shrine 2 and Vomitorium.
Hello.
Ultra64, creator of the mod Treasure Tech, and also known for his amazing fan art.
Hi.
Alright. How's everybody doing?
I'm existing.
Barely.
Well,
My tummy hurts.
I'm alright.
Oh no. So yeah.
Give us a minute.
so yeah, we have. I don't know. Recordhead didn't mention it, but we have a. We have. Wait, do you want to say it, or should I just? The questions and stuff.
Yeah, hold on. I'm still getting some stuff set up. Give me a minute.
You're supposed to do this before the stream
It's not like we had 40 minutes
No,
to
that's-
set everything up.
Shut up! Everything is set up. I
Really?
just need to wash my
Everything.
hands.
You're too busy making Half-Life.
I am not ruining everything.
Then I'll explain
not-
it. Then I'll explain it. You configure it. So
No, I am.
we have questions on. We copied them over from Twitter to Trello, and we're going to just answer them. that's the
That was
idea.
complicated.
Yeah, questions.
I'm glad that could explain separately because it was really hard to understand.
You can. The question that is currently being read and answered will be visible below the current text at the top of the stream. Yeah. So questions are going to appear
Let's
there.
start with our first question. Hold on.
So drag it into the current list. Just grab it and.
Drag it.
Yeah,
I see you, Kaz.
you can do it. You can do it.
I can do it.
Just.
I can't do it.
Oh no.
What are you supposed to do?
You click.
Just
you
drag
click
and
the
drop.
question. You hold the button and you move your mouse onto the current list. The one in the middle. Just.
Like the Trello again.
Ah.
Mhm.
It's okay. It's okay.
This is. What did you expect?
You to be able to.
Well, we had an hour to get ready for this.
We were only sitting in chat for 60 minutes.
You'd have to. I didn't think you'd actually have to move them.
You can do it. It's like dragging icons on your desktop, or
I mean, do you have to be logged in?
yeah.
I-
But
This is beautiful.
you have an account, don't you? You have to have an account because you were here before it was public.
Oh my. Professionals. Yeah.
Okay.
Where are the furthest?
Yeah, we're professionals.
If-
100% professionals.
Okay, if you want to figure out how to drag, then I can move it and you can read it. But come on.
Yes. No, I have it. I just need to find the link to the Trello.
Oh my! Go to Discord and
We'll get
search for
this
Trello.
down.
Just Trello. Just.
How's everyone doing in the audience? Is everyone doing okay today?
Are we
No,
all crying?
we are very much not doing okay. We're all dying.
Flat.
Here's the link.
Can you believe we planned this?
Did we?
Why did you spam it to me like 15,000 times?
Because you
What
missed
is
it.
Yeah, why did I? Wouldn't be a PITR stream without something going wrong. I don't know what this is about because all of my streams are always going smoothly, perfectly, no casualties, everything's perfect.
Everything is
so-
going fine.
Casualties.
Everything.
No one died yet, so
Yet.
Yet.
Yes.
And
don't.
Probably #1 contender for death on this stream.
Scum dead.
That's a good one. If I need a rebrand, I'm using that.
Yeah, you'll have to pay me
Same.
royalties though.
I came here to see my
It's the
friend,
same thing with
Scumhead. So, Scumhead, you have a friend in the chat.
Scumhead is now scum dead.
Oh hey, Shammy is following. Hey Shammy,
Oh, Shami. Ooh,
big boy.
big boy.
Shammy the Owl?
Yeah.
What? Dude, I love your
First
Overwatch
question.
video.
Here's our first
Oh, there we
question,
go.
ladies and gents.
Well, it took
I
half
should
hour.
move the alerts.
Scumhead.
There we go.
Scumhead, is it rude to say that?
That's our
This
first
is a
question.
fantastic first question.
I know.
No, because that's the name of my lewd alt. So,
All right, I'm googling
Oh,
that now.
no,
So am
no,
I.
please. There's not much there. Oh, good lord. Yeah, it's chill if you say that.
First question, ladies and gents. Alright, moving on. Slime girls, yes or no?
No.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
They're like goopy and like sweaty. Definite pass on me.
only fur for Scumhead.
Take anything at this point.
I'm so sorry. Mango, you have me?
Question.
Oh, we got bits. I have to read the thing. Have you?
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Oh yeah, there we go. Have
Because
some mighty and humble bits for the stream and for Akira being wholesome. Yes, Akita, you're wholesome. Thanks for the bits.
Also,
Oh,
my
boy.
ass.
All because of you, Akira.
Oh,
Yeah,
wholesome, but without the W.
Oh no.
That's what we'll call it.
deafened. He almost deafened me. Alright, moving on. Here's an actual question. What is your favorite FPS enemy?
Shall we just go in order with Osric first?
Yeah, just do it like that every
Yeah.
time, maybe.
Hey, if you just have an answer. ahead.
Yeah, probably my favorite would be the Spirit from Doom Eternal, and the primary reason for that is I love how I like mean enemies, enemies that are kind of designed to harass the player, and to push them into a certain style of play. And one of the things I love about the Spirit is, for one, it's such a demanding presence when it enters an arena. It's an enemy that, like, no matter what enemy it possesses, it immediately turns that thing into priority #1. Especially if it gets a hold of something like a Baron, that thing will just like shove you around the map.
I hate
And
those.
I love how in the heat of combat, it's an enemy you want to take out as quickly as possible. You don't want it to leave it alive, but it forces you into an incredibly compromising position, because it forces you to rely on the plasma rifle's microwave beam in order to kill it. And that slows you down. And if you're not using like the air control rune especially, like, it can really screw you over. And if like it's especially in like an intense encounter, like getting that thing, like I said, getting that thing off the map is priority #1. But in order to do so, it effectively forces you to try and create openings in order to deal with it, on top of like dealing with it as quickly as possible. So yeah.
Alright. My pick is I'll follow the same line of reasoning and I'll go with the Archvile, because I don't think anything can match that level of panic you get when you hear that fucking weird sound.
Doom 2 Archvile, you mean? Doom 2 Archvile or Eternal Archvile?
Doom 2 Eternal Archviles are not very exciting because you can just insta-kill them.
With what? Oh wait, yeah,
With
with
the
the
sword.
Crucible.
Yeah.
They're much more menacing in the DLC though.
Yeah, but I haven't played the DLC because I haven't beaten the game yet.
They have buffed the Archviles quite a bit. They can summon enemies real quick now.
Oh, that's good.
Well,
But
yeah,
still,
because-
I still like the old ones more, even if just because of the way they look, because I like the sort of white skeleton with the fucking weird pose where they summon flames and stuff, and it's always like complete another panic the instant you see one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
no.
wicked healer. They're there to help the enemy out. They're great priests and healers.
And good old
Horrible
Tony.
creatures.
Bingo.
Bingo. What about you?
Mine is probably like the Shambler from Quake. It's
Damn it! It's gonna be my
like this gigantic, hulking, massive brown and red, and it just like shoots lightning. I mean, that's awesome. It's kind of like a less, like a cooler version of a Doom 2 Archvile for me, which I do really like.
Oh no, Hakuda versus Mingo.
Nah. I also love Shamblers, so.
It's so
Exactly.
fun.
I bought the Quake series recently on Steam. I'm gonna have to play that. I have to play it.
Dude, why
Oh,
haven't you?
Yeah, by Quake series you mean Quake 1 and then stop.
Yeah, exactly. Quake and Arcane Dimensions.
Quake 2 looks like it has a great soundtrack. I don't want to play it for that alone.
Oh yeah, it has a great soundtrack, so just listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, don't play it.
What is
I
so bad
love
about it? Like,
everything.
what can be so bad about Quake 2?
Well,
The gunplay is just shite.
yeah, and the level design is really just very messy and not very exciting, and it all looks the exact same.
Yeah, it's a very visually repetitive game, and there's not much. It's like it's very afraid to push the player around and ask anything of them. It's a pretty like teeth, and that combined with the lackluster shooting and the very repetitive level design, and it all kind of just like it's a very personality-less.
Yeah, it has no soul.
Say it
Spoiler.
has what I call Sonic syndrome. Amazing soundtrack, terrible gameplay. Talking about modern Sonic, classic Sonic was fun.
I think it's Peter's
Peter,
turn.
what about you?
Honestly, I don't think at least I can't think of some enemy that is significantly better than.
Pick one from Ultra Kill.
Oh,
Wrong game.
my favorite FPS enemy from
Be an
Ultra
ultra
Kill.
chill.
Oh yeah, shilling is always always a good idea. From Ultra Kill, I would say probably Street Cleaners. And yes, I like the whole concept of they not how do I say it? I like how they combine how coins combine with the explosive, weak
Thing to do with the street cleaners.
weak part of the.
I love getting behind them and then throwing the coin and messing them up.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
I like the
Um,
name.
If I had to pick one personally, I would have to go with God. Probably the Tyrant. Oh, I love that thing.
Yeah.
It's
big
fun to
meat
just
door.
absolutely break them down, especially using like a ice bomb and a triple rocket. I love doing that.
I like the Tyrants too. They're fun. I was honestly, I didn't have any hope they were going to bring the Cyber Demons back as just like another standard enemy.
They
So
did.
when they did that, they did, and I was kind of surprised, and it made me very, very happy.
I'm so happy they did.
So I think is it Ultra 64 is next?
Oh,
No,
did
Scum.
Scumhead go?
Scum's
Oh,
next.
okay,
You
sorry.
forgot about me.
I'm sorry.
Scum doesn't exist. He's Scumhead is Scum dead.
I'm an apparition. Well, I was gonna say Shambler, but someone took my idea. I wonder who that was. Shrine 2 Dog. No.
I like the Shrine 2 dog.
He's a cutie. He's got big chompers.
Some butter on his head.
Oh God.
No, the little
Bug
bug things from Shrine 2.
God.
No.
God, I was gonna say Shambler.
I mean, you can
Problem
still
solved.
pick Shambler.
You can still say
Yeah,
I
shit.
like the Shambler.
Okay. Well, I like the Shambler. Visuals are everything for me because I'm vapid. So I love how the Shambler looks. I love low poly. It's such a unique design for an enemy. It's just
Peter, you got to stretch now.
I'm
Two
reading the
people
chat, I'm
redeem
doing it, but
stretch.
I'm not going to unmute myself to do a...
Ah,
I'm reading the chat, you
dang
don't
it.
have to...
Alright. Keep going, Scum.
yeah, Shambler because it looks cool, and Shrine 2 Dog because it's cute, and I made it so I can say it's the best.
Yeah, that's a pretty valid choice to me.
Stop redeeming the points.
Alright, well,
Butter Dog.
I guess it's my turn.
When you make Shrine 2 Butter Dog.
The HECU, the Heku from Half-Life 1. Specifically, the hyper-aggressive versions from Sven Co-op. It is...
Is that? I've never.
Sven Co-op is just like a very easy, slightly adjusted co-op form of Half-Life 1. A lot of like multiplayer features for co-op. But the Heku are so aggressive, but they're so team-oriented at the same time. They are built to corner the player in the tight corridors of a Black Mesa or any like small area you're in. They will determine your position and audibly call out to each other what the situation is. So it gives this illusion that the enemy is like has way more going on than they actually do. It's very satisfying. Just having 40mm grenades, frag grenades, getting suppressive fire. They I guess you're fighting an enemy that really wants to kill you with teamwork, which is usually not the case for a lot of enemies. Like, look at Doom. There's a ton of infighting, and it's hilarious. But when you have these guys running around using all these different tactics and weapons, it's very satisfying. I can't think of a better, like, standard infantry enemy in a game. That's my opinion.
I hate those things.
Hey,
Yeah, fuck
moving
'em.
on to the next question. I'm not sure exactly who this one is for, but
Yeah.
what kind of
you
drugs were you on?
color,
So you
see
decided
the
to
name.
make so you could fire 6 shotguns at once.
Well, first of all, I don't do drugs and I don't worship the devil.
Sure.
That's a reference for no one. Second of all, it was just like because one of the things I liked about Dusk was like the fact that you could just infinitely stack power ups, and I thought that was really fun. So I was like, hey, what if you had a dual wield power up like in Blood, but then you could just keep stacking them, so you'd have a third arm and a fourth arm and a sixth arm, and it actually doesn't have a cap. Like people think it's 60 maximum, but you can have like 120 arms shooting shotguns at the same time. It like the only cap is how much your PC can take.
Well, that and how many pickups there are on the level.
Green,
I
though,
mean, you
so,
can
like,
spawn
you
them
can't
with
even tell what
cheats.
you're shooting at.
Well, who plays video games and cheats?
People who want to have fun.
Not me.
Right. Next question. Will Gabriel be playable after the game is finished, like Virtual
No.
DMC3?
Next question.
Playstyle. All right.
Well, I mean, okay. Honest extended answer on that is that the problem is that I have a high standard for what I would, at least what I consider a high standard for what I would consider like a gameplay style. So the problem with making Gabriel playable would be that I would have to spend like half a year making him fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just not worth it for like an optional character.
After you finish Ultra Kill, it'd be interesting for like a prequel if you ever think about it.
After I finish Soldier Kill, I'm going to fucking die.
Same.
Disintegrate into a fine powder.
No, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub, Toilet Wine Connoisseur. That's a good name.
One
That's a
is
good
for you,
name.
Oz.
I know that guy. I love him.
Oh, hey, toilet.
Oh, you
Alright,
love
this one's
toilet
for you.
water.
This one's for you, Ozreek.
Okay.
Beggars can be
What is
choosers.
Caroline's favorite song?
Ooh, that's a hard one, because, I mean, technically I'd imagine there's, like, futuristic, like, sci-fi songs, and I'm not creative enough to try and write any.
Thank you, Yellow
But if-
Swerve, for the 69 bits.
Yeah.
You don't have to read them.
I would, I mean, like, I do imagine, like, in Viscera Fest, like, there's some, like, catalog of, like, prior human history, and, like, she's probably listened to, like, some of the music from that. And so I'd imagine, like, probably her favorite is, like, older, 2000s, like 1900s music is probably a song called "Everybody Loves Somebody." I'd say probably that.
Nice one. All right.
What Mer's about?
This is a very stacked question.
Oh
Be
dear.
extremely careful. What is the context behind the dreamed cat meme?
Oh boy. Okay. Do I just like quickly try to tell the whole story? Should I?
Yeah, just do a TLDR.
Okay, I'll do a pretty detailed TLDR. I mean, yeah, that's.
We're not in any hurry.
So yeah, basically, dreamed, like the name Dreamed. That was it's still it's the name of a game. I was making a game. Yes, a game, and I was being myself, so I was being slow, and very slow. And barely anyone got to play it. Only I gave it to Hakira for play testing and a couple of people, but generally it was. Yeah, it never came out. Maybe it will, who knows? But the point is, people on the Ultra Kill Discord, some people figured that out. They creeped through my itch.io and they found the game, I think, that I assume, or my YouTube videos. And Hook, one of the people on the Discord, was begging, generally, yeah, begging, a couple of people were begging for me to release the game. So I just quickly downloaded it from my GitLab, the repo, the game, made a quick build without all the gameplay, and just replaced left the main menu in, left the splash screen in, and just replaced the game with the picture, with Dreamed, with the cat, and some music that was in the game. And then I just released the build onto the Discord, and a couple of people were excited. Hook was very happy, and everyone thought that they would get to play the game, but it was a cat. And yeah, TLDR after that. After that,
You programmed the bot, right?
the bot was already live, but the thing is, Hook was saying how much he hates the emoji, the cat emoji, the dreamed emoji, which Hakira made. He titled it Dream because yes, and and Hook was talking about how much he hates the cat, and so Hakira asked me to make the bot react to every message made by Hook with the emote. So I did that in 10 minutes, and then it started, and then the dream ride just, yeah.
Then the bot broke free.
That's where the dream started.
The dream started.
So
And the
Good
rest
story.
is history.
yeah, the rest is history.
Amazing story, ladies and gents. Favorite obscure game?
Ooh.
I'm hyped for this one.
I guess so,
Pause
Shrika, again.
I'll have to think about that one if you want to skip me for the time being.
Alright,
Alright,
we
Akina?
could...
I can go. I have one.
yeah, okay. Ultra.
Gimmick for the NES. It is just a compilation of everything Sunsoft learned how to do on the NES, and they were always like way ahead of the bar when it came to tech on there. It was released like at the very end of the life cycle. It has an amazing physics engine that, like, I don't think anything comes close on the NES, and it's got an amazing soundtrack. It's super hard, and I'm not very good at it, but it's just this technical marvel that was just kind of slept on because like the SNES was coming out just like months later. So yeah, Gimmick.
I'll go.
Yeah, go for it.
Shadow Tower Abyss. It's a From Software Japanese PS2 exclusive, and it's like this really like atmospheric, well-paced, like nice, short and sweet dungeon crawler with like some of the coolest like art direction and world design. It's such a freaking amazing game, and I recommend it. Anyone who enjoys like any of From Soft's later work, like Demon Souls or Dark Souls, is play that. It's freaking. I don't want to spoil it. It's so good, but it's if you like atmosphere and good art direction with you know a Japanese take on Western aesthetics, that's the place to go. It's freaking. What do they say? Kino.
Oh dear.
Bino. Since everybody else is taking their time,
I can.
I-
Oh, okay. You. Oh, I thought you. Okay.
can I go?
Yeah, yeah.
Earthbound. One of my favorite games of all time.
That's
Genuinely
not
love
Is it
that game.
fucking
obscure?
obscure.
Yeah,
It's
That's not
obscure.
obscure at all.
Yeah,
Is it?
But you know the amount of people that have actually played that game.
Hello, my favorite obscure video game is Call of Duty.
It's just
Ultra
Earthbound
kill.
is in
I'm-
no way.
Sonic the
If
Hedgehog
the
3.
Earthbound doesn't count, then I'll talk about something else.
Mario.
Oh, God.
Zelda.
How
Super
would I
Mario
say? I thought I
Brothers
was gonna
3.
say Earthbound.
I think Earthbound's obscure enough. Like, some
Yeah.
kind of.
It's super hard to play the game. I mean, think about it. You have to own a Wii U to play the current version. Who owns a Wii U?
Me.
You could do something illegal.
I realize I'm a pathetic loser.
Oh my
I'm
god.
so sorry.
Oh man.
But I mean, he does own a Wii U, so it's deserved.
Yeah.
All right.
There.
Yeah.
Peter,
So.
what about you?
Yeah. So this one I stole from Hakira, as in learned about it from Hakira, and I think it's pretty obscure. It's a puzzle game called Sensorium, and I've grown to like it quite a lot, and I would probably say
Can you say the name again, like so people, because it's kind of an odd name. so people
Sensorium.
don't-
I'm gonna write it in the chat, and maybe I'm gonna drop a Steam link or something. There we go. Here,
Posted like that many times.
because this is Twitch. You have to. I don't know.
What's his channel?
I mean, you can't stop him.
Of course I can't, but
Just
I can
tackle
ban him
him.
from the server. Ooh.
Then
And then he won't be able to hear you anymore.
I'll just switch the channels, and I don't know.
I'm looking at this game right now, though. This looks really. I love the art direction.
Yeah, it's
Neat.
pretty. I think it's pretty obscure because it has only
Yeah.
43 reviews. So I was
Yeah,
pretty
I'd say that's
surprised
obscure.
because it doesn't. It. I don't know. It shouldn't. I think it.
Well, like, it's a pretty quality game.
It's short, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Stream it, Peter?
Hmm?
Did you stream Sensorium?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't be for me. I'm not a huge fan of puzzles, but I can definitely applaud the art style. Looks really good.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Like my specific one it's from a popular series, but it's a really overlooked game, which is Castlevania: Curse of Darkness, which was on the PlayStation 2, and I never hear anyone talk about it. And it's a really interesting game in that it's like, well, at least interesting for me in that it's a very simple game, but it has this amazing like atmosphere of comfort. Like it's a comfy action game. It's something that it's just like, it's very simple and it's very easy to play, but you just like turn it on and it just you can lose like 12 hours to just beating enemies and collecting materials to make new weapons, and it's really fun to explore. There's tons of really cool secrets, and it's just like it's a Castlevania game where you can build a minigun for yourself.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's awesome.
And also there are collectible chairs. There's like 40 chairs that you can sit on, and they don't do anything except unlock a new chair that you can sit on.
That sounds like a back of the box feature. Like, I'm not even kidding.
It's really good. You guys should all check it out.
Mango and Unreek. Do you guys have an answer to the question?
Yeah, everyone from my Discord server is going to want me to say Appleworm, but that's not my actual answer. No, I mean, like, I don't play a lot of obscure games just because it's generally, like, games I guess I would consider obscure aren't really in the genres I enjoy. But I'd say probably my favorite obscure game would, I guess, Gun Gods. I don't know how well known that game is, but it's kind of like a little Wolfenstein-like, but it's just incredibly charming and it's really fun. It's pretty simple, but it's got a lot of personality to it. Don't get the Steam version because the Steam version is broken. There's like you guys, it's free, so you guys, it's like anybody could go and grab it if they wanted to. But yeah, it's got a really goofy like rap hip hop gibberish soundtrack that's interesting. But yeah, it's a really fun little quirky Wolfenstein like. But yeah,
Young Venus comes from there. From
yeah, yes.
Big fan of that game.
This is a funny one from chat. Do all Ultra Kill devs have these cool accents, or is it just you two?
Cool. That's
I don't even know what to. That's a funny one.
Hakira is muted, of course. I don't know. He panicked or something.
Yeah, he's forcing you to answer the question
No,
by
I'm
doing that.
Hakira. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Question from the chat.
Devs have these cool
do
accents.
all
Or
of
is
the
it
kill
just you
devs have
two?
these cool accents, or is it just you two? Let me think. I think the only person who doesn't have an accent would be Dog, because he's American. But then we have like a Russian guy, a Belgian guy, an Australian guy. So yeah, we have some fucking weird accents.
You guys are
Yes.
very international. That's great.
Yeah, well, that's the magic of the internet, and me not wanting to meet people in person.
That's completely understandable.
What's left for the current question?
Oh, wait,
Mingo.
hold on. First, I would like to take a moment to appreciate that the person writing the current question is British.
British?
Oh,
British.
I hope I know.
Oh,
who it
you
is.
won't, mate.
Favorite.
Tuesday, innit?
Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
That was like the most thing I've ever heard.
Bingo.
6 people just making fun of a British guy. It's beautiful.
I have a British friend.
Just
I make
the
fun of him all
entire
the time
Twitch
for
stream
being.
just went out of their way to make fun of a British guy. I'm sorry.
I know you're in there, Ty Catcher. I know you're watching right now.
Did Mango answer for the obscure game? If you have one,
No.
Mango.
All right, cool. Moving on. Next question.
Hey.
What?
Probably Shatterhand for the NES.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like this action platformer, and you punch things, and it's a really good looking game.
Osric, this one's for you.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
hold on. When will there be Viscera Fest 7, Eldritch Warfare 3, Black Hole War?
Mango, what's the answer?
Wait, hold on. Were you gonna let him finish? What are you doing?
Wait,
Yeah, let him finish his
Come on, you moved the question even before the.
Dang it! I Never mind.
What is
Okay,
your
keep going.
favorite game, Mango? Finish your sentence.
Mango, keep going.
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't
done.
hear you. Oh, he's
I'm
done. Okay.
Okay.
Shadowhand.
Poor
Everybody.
Mango, traumatized into silence.
There we go. Okay. I'm sorry, Mango.
Somebody in chat, Mango, says, "Hey, Mango, you might get a kick out of upcoming Steel Assault, which is kind of like Shatterhand."
Ooh, I'll check it out.
What if there are... Alright, Reek, when will there be Viscera Fest 7, Eldritch Warfare 3, Black Hole War?
I don't know how to answer that question. That's not even like a question. That's just like.
Answer it.
It's a fun.
No, there won't be. If there is more than one Viscera Fest game, there will probably just be 2. Because that is how
Alright.
the narrative that's present is relatively self-contained, and I would only really be able to extend it until a second game unless I were to try to pad it out, which I don't want to do. So
Caroline is like the heir to a galactic ancient throne or something, and she's the one chosen to mess with time or something.
she's the daughter of Azathoth, the Outer God.
Oh, spoilers.
Not really. Everyone on my Discord knows it.
Yeah, well, I'm not on your Discord, bitch.
Oh,
I mean, are.
The real question is, when will Caroline respond to my DMs?
Sorry, she's taken.
Outside your house right now.
Really?
I'm scared.
You should be.
This is a question for Osric. I'm not really sure how it's gonna work or whether it's a weird question.
I feel like maybe we
Unfortunate
should go
spaceman crossover.
Probably.
No, next question.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay. Got it.
I see.
I'm gonna see if I can find an everybody question.
Oh, I just remembered something. I said that we should collect all the questions no matter what's the quality and then filter them later. But we never got the
Oh, we forgot
filtering.
to filter.
I filtered them.
Trick post questions. Oh,
How do you forget that?
How
That's
do you
fine, we
forget
can just
to
say
say
no.
that you can fucking move cards? We're all famous here.
All right, this one's for Peter.
Oh no.
Peter. When are you getting that part of? When are you getting that part of a pizza that Hakita promised you?
Oh yeah, about that. I'm still so tickets to Finland. I checked the price and it's not that bad. Maybe at some point I'm going to get my pizza.
Sorry, you have COVID, so not possible.
Peter,
Yeah.
Sorry you don't know yet. I just had to spoil it for you. The pizza's mine.
I'll get my pizza, Hakira. Don't even try to hide it.
Listen, just make a catapult and send it over. It'll fly like a frisbee. It's so easy. It's a pizza. It's a disc.
It's
And then
practically
It's
designed.
made for travel.
it'll probably cut someone's head off.
That's fine. Acceptable loss.
It'll just be a pizza with someone's head on top.
Small
Look,
price to
yeah,
pay
it's
for
like,
a Hakira pizza. This-
Hey, it's a
Wipe it off with
garbage.
wipe it off with a paper towel. It's fine. Do you want your pizza or not?
Oh, we have a
One is
highlighted
for
chat
the
question.
Shrine 2 devs.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Favorite boss in Shrine 2.
Okay, we'll answer this quick, and then we'll get to that the chat chest.
I've added
The
Trello.
chat question.
Uh,
you want to
probably-
go first, Miguel?
Yeah. Spoilers for those who haven't finished it. Looking at you, Hakita. The final boss. I really enjoyed like making like 4 very different phases, and the final one just being absolute insanity. So I think that it was very fun, like making the dude basically have like shotgun sound effects for punching. I don't know why, that just was super fun to me.
Like a JoJo animation.
Yeah, it basically is.
For me, it's probably Ophanum or Dagon, because Dagon's a really shitty fight, and I love how like terrible it is, because it's like the part I dread the most when playtesting. But if I had to pick just like my favorite, it would be Ophanum, because I love her design. I love how she's that, the biblically accurate angel thing, and then she turns into a hot fire lady after. It's cool.
Never saw this. This was a thing. How did I miss this? How did I miss this?
There's hot singles in your area. You weren't looking.
Oh, come on!
That's just the fires of passion.
I've got
This
jokes.
is. There are children in the chat. Ultra.
This fire is looking real good right now.
This one is for Peter and Hakita.
But wait, we're gonna get to
how
the chat
flexible-
question.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, yeah. Sorry. Sorry about that one. Forgot that. Go.
okay, there we go.
I'll read it out.
It's on the.
Oh wow,
You're
Peter got it in.
Whoa!
They were-
You're a
I will always do it. Don't worry about answering to. I'm just dragging them in to the top.
Okay.
So
Ah, okay.
don't worry about
mental.
losing things now.
Has any of you guys got inspired by something that you've seen in your dreams in regards for the creations of your game?
Ooh.
Absolutely. This was nuts. This happened like a few months ago. I spent like all night making a map for my game I'm developing, the GZ Doom engine, Treasure Tech Land. And when I went to bed, my entire dream was just constantly still working in Doom Builder. And when I woke up, I retained everything, and I was just like going like, yeah, and I just started just recreating everything from the dream. I was so satisfied. That has never happened before. That was the only time something like that has happened.
Sweat and made a game.
I would say for
Something
me.
out of like a.
Oh, sorry.
No, keep going, Reek.
All right, I'd say for me, I don't really. I don't dream very often, and when I do, they're mostly it's mostly like fever dreams. But I would say like a lot of what I do for Viscera Fest, like one thing I love doing is I love just listening to music and pacing around my house and thinking, and kind of just getting lost in thought. And like that is how a lot of what I do for Viscera Fest almost kind of comes into being. It's just like through that process of just like wandering around my house and just thinking to myself. So I wouldn't really say like necessarily in dreams, but more so like almost daydreaming, I guess I would say, is where a lot of my ideas come from. But yeah.
Ideas for me are definitely in the shower. I don't know.
Oh dear.
I mean, pretty cliche answer, but it works.
Random thing that has like a little bit to do with this, but do you ever guys? I get deja vu like fucking constantly when I'm like working on stuff, like thoughts I had from the past are becoming real in the future. I know that's like obviously because I'm making something, but do you guys have any like deja vu moment like that?
Constantly. It's usually when I'm really tired, but yes.
I think I did.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn, and my answer is very similar to Ostrix in that the only really dreams that I remember are nightmares, and most of them are just me running away or hiding from things. So that would not really fit in Ultra Kill. But almost all the story and lore and stuff I come up with like when I'm daydreaming, when I'm going on walks and stuff. So most of the story comes from there.
Came from?
No, that was just me. That something Wicked came from limitations, because something Wicked is just the original zombie model but really thin.
The Minecraft creep.
Nice bit of trivia.
Yeah, Mango.
Yeah. Well, I
Have you been
usually
inspired
end up,
by your
like-
dreams, Bingo?
Yeah, I really haven't. I don't dream really often, and like Osric and Hikita said, not very often when I dream, but when I dream it's like me hanging out in a house, and then all of a sudden a really tall dude comes in or something like that. I only really like think of things in the shower, and then as soon as I'm done, I'm like, what was I thinking about?
What am I doing?
Gotta get a
Once-
pen and paper in the shower and have it get all destroyed by the water.
I don't remember many of my dreams, but the one dream I do vividly remember, kind of, was I walked out into the middle of the desert, and there was a game shop. I found a localized version of Mother 3. Then the entire world started breaking down around me. A vaporwave tower.
The obscurity of the game just started destroying reality.
Mm-hmm.
Then the
The
a
obscurity
giant
of
vaporwave tower
Earthbound.
came out of it.
It obscured the earth.
And then
Pure game.
The
and then a
only
giant
known to man.
vaporwave tower came out of the ground, and the Homestuck characters were there. And then I woke up.
You fake dream. You made that up.
I didn't make.
She disappeared.
Noise suppression kicked in, and that was beautiful.
Right, Peter.
So the same question, yes. Okay. Well, so this is sad because I usually get when like in dreams sometimes I get some usually ideas for environments and places, and then when I try to that's the only thing, and then when I try to actually put them into reality, I come crashing down to reality and my level design skills, and so I usually just don't even get close to my dreams and just scrap them. But that's...
I believe in you, Peter. I really
I know that
do.
feeling.
I know how that feels. I make a lot.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that comes from dreams for me, I guess.
But here's the thing. Peter might not be good at making levels, but he's good at making tools for people to make levels with.
Like, I guess, kinda. Maybe.
Better than me, which is not at all. Everything's relative,
Real
you know.
quick. One real quick thing before we move on to the next question. Peter,
Earthbound?
I am in the... Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? You made. I had 1,000 channel points, but you made it so that make everyone lose their mind is 3,000 channel
Yes,
points.
yes, I'm
Dang
balancing the prices.
It. Dang it! Dang it!
All right, next question.
Ultra kill just dropped. Jeez, the OST. I did not expect that. Oh, you can grab a Twitch question from the top. Record head.
Say for everyone. What is everyone's favorite flavor of ice cream?
Vanilla.
Ready to do battle.
Chocolate.
Oh my god.
Candy.
I would say probably mint. I like mint everything, so probably that.
Don't hate me. Vanilla.
Hey, I said vanilla.
There's nothing wrong with vanilla. I was gonna pick home style vanilla because it just has like a stronger vanilla flavor, but that's it.
Yeah.
Rainbow
it's the
sherbet
good-
count. Someone in the chat said.
My friends have left me for my favorite choice of ice cream.
I'm sorry, Mango. This is where we part ways.
Hey, Chewbacca.
For me, it's pistachio with like amaretto.
Ooh,
Good shit.
sounds good.
I
Fancy.
am deathly allergic to pistachios, so I can't comment on that.
I
Oh,
will rain pistachios upon your home. I apologize.
Pour them into the ventilation system.
Ooh, salted caramel. That's
That's good.
That's
That
good,
is
yeah.
taste.
can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like cotton candy ice cream.
Cotton candy like makes my teeth like.
No, not cotton candy as in cotton candy itself. Cotton candy taste ice cream.
Oh, I know, but even that is so sugary. I can just feel my teeth like getting cold. from
Yeah,
it.
overly sweet is I can't handle it.
Yeah, same.
So was that everyone?
Alright. That should be everyone.
Record, have you
Moving on to
missed
the
a
next
Twitch
question.
message from the top? I put all the Twitch messages at the top, and you missed one.
They're not in the... Oh, there it is. Alright, I got it. Hold on. Do you approach weapon, map, aesthetic design from visual concepts or pure function first?
I'd say I kind of do a blend of both. So from concepts or pure from visual. I mean, like, it kind of depends because it's an issue of like, I kind of bounce around. I don't really have a consistent way of doing things, which I should probably develop one. But yeah, no, like some of it's just like like when I'm designing enemies or maps or something like that, I'll throw like visual stuff down and I'll be like, yeah, I'll kind of like make something around this, or I will, I'll sit down and I think like, well, how do I want this to function? But generally speaking, I try to make sure that everything has a distinct function and isn't just like hey, this looks cool, let me throw it in the game. I try to make sure like I don't just have 50 enemies that all spit the exact same projectiles or whatever it happens to be. Like I want there to be functionally like a purpose to why this thing exists and why this thing exists. So I always tell kind of like, even if I like make something and I start out with like an aesthetic detail behind it or something like that, I try to rein it in and make it and like keep it functional. But yeah.
Okay, for me it really depends on like the thing, because weapons I always do function first and the design is like a complete afterthought. For maps it's like, it's kind of both, because usually there's some visual ideas I want to do, but then everything in between is sort of usually just me making blocks and then going like, oh hey, maybe I could make this into this kind of thing. And like for enemies and stuff, it's usually it's like completely visual first. Like I don't even know how an enemy will function, or I don't even have an idea for an enemy usually at the start, but I'll just have like one of the guys throw up concepts and then I'll come like, oh hey, that would be cool if it could like blah blah and blah. But sometimes I do have an idea, like with the Stalker, which is a new enemy in Act 2, that was like function first. Yeah, that's it for me.
Ultra Peter?
I don't really.
I probably should go Mango first so we can do it in order.
Oh yeah, right. Why did you?
No, it's just asking if anybody had anything they want to put in.
Yeah, I think his mic faded in, so it sounded like he just said Peter.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead,
sorry.
Mango.
Alright, so weapons absolutely function first. Like, anything else is just kind of like, well, yeah, weapons function first, design second, but for like levels, design first and then function second. Like, you know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when you're making weapons, you have to think about what they do first before you can even think about their aesthetic.
Unless you're me.
True.
Yeah, Peter.
I don't really.
He's a code guy.
No, I'm a code guy.
Nah, he made some beautiful levels.
I'm a
though.
code guy.
Well, if he made some beautiful levels, though.
I
And
heard he
have-
made Arcane
I-
Dimensions.
So the question is, the approach weapon, from visual or pure. Okay, yeah, I guess this is generally something that I'm guilty of. I generally prioritize starting. I mean, not prioritize, but I start often with visuals, which I know it's bad and terrible, and it's absolutely bad and terrible.
It's not. It's just a different kind of process.
It's absolutely bad and terrible, and Hakira should bonk me for that in the head.
But I do it
for that.
sometimes too.
Yeah, but I do things more visually first. Yes. I don't know. It's just easier for me to, not easier, but it's better. You know, I can ground it in. Oh, for me. It's just easier to work around visuals than to make the functions up as I go instead of. Yeah, I guess.
Come.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all visual. It's kind of why my gameplay sucks ass. Is just because I'm like, I want it to look cool and pretty. The art I made. So, yeah, I'm
Fucking
visual-
artists, I swear to God.
Yeah, I'm very visually oriented. So, I'm making things look pretty before I'm making it feel good. So that's why my games can kind of be not that fun sometimes. But yeah, I really have to go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep your mic on.
Oh, does anybody need
Make sure to
take a pee
show
break?
for me first.
All right, I'll be right
Does
back.
anybody here need to take a pee break? Because Peter can put up the
I took it.
giant.
I
No.
took one.
I'm going to take a pee break, but let's don't use the pee break card. Let's
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, we
We'll
just say.
we'll just listen to loud pissing.
I mean,
I took one before the stream started, and I said, "Hey, everybody, take a pee break now."
you can just
And no
Recordhead
one-
can just choose person-specific questions while someone is peeing.
Yeah.
Oh, you frying chicken in there?
Jesus Christ. I knew someone was going to say it, and I didn't want to be it, so I'm glad you did.
Oh,
So,
I'm
wait, what did you
always
say?
the sacrificial lamb here.
I appreciate your sacrifice.
All right, so who all is left? Who is
I haven't
taking a
gone.
pee break?
I'm here.
Wait, Ultra didn't answer the question yet.
Yeah,
You didn't?
answer yet. No.
Okay, go ahead.
You're the interviewer, you're supposed to keep track of these things!
Stop me if I go too long on this, because I actually have like a bit to say on this. I design a lot
That's
of
too
weapons.
long, shut up, next question.
People pay me to design weapons for their games. It's one of the things I do. So I take it very seriously. Design, not just visually, but from a gameplay perspective. I guess from the start, I figure out what do I need. Like, what's the very base function, like a machine gun, rocket launcher. Then from there, I have to figure out how that can synchronize with all the other mechanics of my game. And then from there, I design something that would match the level of power that's usually like the size indication. Because if it's something fast that does little damage, it should be small. But if it fires really big, powerful things, it should be big. So that's my thought process for this. It's a mixture of both visual and function, all in one. It's like a synergy kind of thing. As for map design, since what I'm making is basically a homage to Wario Land 4, and their level system works with each level having one apparent gimmick, That's all I have in mind when I make the level. I just have to make sure that gimmick is achieved, and once that happens, it just kind of work around it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I have to say on this subject.
Last one.
And let me tell you, boys, you should all go check out Treasure Tech Land because it looks really good.
Thank you. Hockey took the time to play the demo. I appreciate
It's games.
I've played it.
Amazing.
It's very good. It's
Everybody
probably
check
like
out their games.
the only Doom mod I can bring myself to play anymore.
Don't say that when Ringo's coming over here.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry, just teasing.
I just
Well, you haven't played Shrine, have you? What do you mean you haven't played Shrine?
I've not.
Troy.
Oh, I have to. Thanks for 200 bits from Dirty Giveaway and 69 bits from Pretty Fist.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. Thanks for giving 69.
Thanks for
bits.
your nice contributions to the stream. Thank you very much. You're all
Scumbag.
nice people.
Nah.
Alright, so here's a very urgent and important question. Will Hakita prepare a special I love you, Peter pizza on live stream?
No.
Yeah, I feel like that one was gonna be an instant no.
I really like the instant no's because I don't even have to think about things, and I hate thinking.
Thanks, Akira.
I
I like
like
this as
Peter.
urgent.
Amazing.
I'm sorry you have to deal with this, Peter.
Don't worry, this is every stream.
Yeah, I know. I've watched a few of them.
It's a sort of S&M thing. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. That makes it all right.
I love how everybody was talking before the stream started about how wholesome Hakita was.
Did we? I must have missed that part.
No, not us. Not us. Like I've seen like, people in
Yeah,
my
the chat.
chat, on my Discord, and like on Twitter. And...
I see.
Hakita
Nah,
blew my ears out by blowing into the mic. He's not wholesome.
They all just see my avatar and assume that I'm nice.
Yeah, that's why I draw you so
You're not
small,
very-
because it's funny. Because your avatar, I just think of like a really small, like, short person.
You're boy.
You know, but have you seen Frey's art where he just makes him gigantic?
Yeah, I love that. Frey does that. It's a really nice, like, comparison. Just like this Hulk compared to, like, a bean. It's great.
I'm the short bean.
I'm the lighthouse from Shrine 2.
That's just like in that art for the album.
Mm.
Yes, indeed.
Whoa.
I'm corpse husband.
Hakita. Here's one for Hakita. How many more DMC references are you gonna force Gianni to make?
So the funny thing about this is, I assume this is referring to the taunts, the two taunts that are DMC references. Pretty much all the taunts were improvised by Gianni, so I didn't make him do either of those.
So that whole thing where he said, "You make even the devil cry," was a thing he did on his own.
Yeah, we were just like spitballing stuff, and he just recorded like 20 or 30 taunts, and then we just picked out the good ones.
Man.
Really cool.
You
The
should
fact that he went-
Gianni's a fucking magician. He can just like shit out amazing things.
Funny. Shits violently. That's his
Yeah.
top video.
Hey, babe.
Mate.
Don't do it.
Hey, babe.
What were we gonna say,
Oh.
Ultra? About
I was
Gianni?
gonna say, I should give you the TF2 spy copy pasta that I got Gianni to read for me, and just make it like a really rare chance that he just starts talking about the TF2 spy really endearingly, just in the
I
middle
mean-
of a fight.
Not gonna say no.
You shouldn't
Say-
do it, but I'm just saying you could
But
do it.
baby, if that's wrong, I don't wanna be right.
Everybody's blackmailing.
Gianni's a great guy. He's
Mm.
from Treasure
He
Tech.
is.
He's the main
He
villain of
even
Treasure
talks
Tech
to
Land.
me. He even talks to me. Well, a complete nobody, but it really shows him his dedication to the community.
He's a good man.
He is a very
I
good
know I
man.
said that like
Yeah,
a 14
yes.
What a rotten way to die.
All right. There have been a lot of Hakita questions, but one more. Why are you so adamant about no multiplayer for Ultra Kill?
Oh boy.
That's a really easy one. I feel like I can answer it for him. Huge
Yeah,
pain in the
but-
ass, everyone.
Yeah, But also, well, there's even more than that, because the thing is,
There we go.
it's obviously a huge pain in the ass to make, and then then to fucking figure out all the bugs. And the thing is, the game isn't built around having multiplayer, so we'd probably have to before the multiplayer, we'd have to code the game again from the ground up. And then the big one is that indie multiplayer games just don't survive longer than 2 weeks. It is just not worth it to make it.
Yeah,
I mean,
so even if we go through all the trouble of just stripping away systems that are legacy and terrible, but they work on single player, we would still, it wouldn't be worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, just look at that whole era of Xbox 360 games, where they all had multiplayer that no one played. Like, it was just a waste of resources, like, on a huge scale. Like, I think that still applies today. A lot of games just don't need multiplayer. I think it's just that. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's really no point in adding multiplayer. And one more reason is that just I really don't play a whole lot of multiplayer. So it's like because I have confidence in myself to be able to make a good single player game, but I don't have confidence in making a good multiplayer game because I just don't play enough of those to know what's good.
Right. You Reek? What is the story of how you got into making Visitor Fest?
The story of how I got into making Visitor Fest?
I think we have like 15 of the same question, so maybe we should just wait until like a general version of this appears.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Alright, we'll move past this one. Sorry to the person who asked that, but we'll wait for a general.
What I was gonna say though is like I kind of have like a very similar feeling about like multiplayer games when it like because like I've gotten that question a lot too. Like people ask me like, why is Visitor? When are we gonna get Visitor Fest multiplayer? The problem is like indie games don't get a lot of grab from like or at least not enough grab from like the general public in order to like retain a multiplayer scene, because like when you think of AAA games, like they get millions and millions and millions of players. So like when the bulk of those people drop the game in 2 weeks, like it's not going to mean anything because like there's still going to be a couple thousand people who are still keeping the multiplayer scene alive. But with indie games, like we're only probably going to get like, if we're lucky, like a good couple thousand players. And when those drop off, it means there might be like, we might have multiplayer folks in the single digits. And in addition to that, for me personally, I just hate multiplayer. I hate multiplayer games. I enjoy, for me, it's a matter of not only is it not worth the time and effort because nobody will be playing them, but for me, it's a case of I don't enjoy playing them. It's not where I want to put my creative energy, and if I had the time and the resources to do it, I would just designate all that to making more single player content, because that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I like playing, and I feel like it's what I want to contribute, because I feel like it's so much easier to get so much more out of a single player experience, in my opinion, than it is a multiplayer experience. Unless you're playing with friends, which I don't enjoy doing, to be honest. To me, I feel like there's so much more value in single player experiences and so much more replay value, quite frankly, in single player experiences. And yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts.
Yeah,
I agree with like almost all those sentiments. It's just
This is one.
it's a lot of work.
This is a question for everybody. One question. Any plans for crossovers?
There's technically I got some.
Yeah.
In fact, some people on Twitter might have already seen it.
Tucked in.
I mean, like, I don't know about like intentional, like, hey, let's like have like a major like crossover like thing in the game that's like very notable. Because like when I think of like crossover stuff, it's almost like, hey, Carolyn and what's his face from Shrine or whatever, like Tusk or whatever, like they're fighting side by side or something like that. That's what comes to my mind. Like references, absolutely. Like there's tons of references in Mr. Fest. but I don't know about like nothing substantial. I would say in terms of crossovers.
I want to see is like an almost Quake kind of thing, where you guys all work together to make a kind of crossover with like V1, Paraline, Tusk, Dusk Dude, all that kind of stuff. That'd be an amazing thing to see.
If immortality was real, I would love to do that, but time is a crazy blah blah blah. You get what I'm saying? It's a cool idea, but there's just no time for that.
Yeah, for me, it's basically the same thing as with Ostrich. It's like I don't think there would be any major crossovers, but I definitely would like to do like little references and stuff. Because one of my favorite things about the 90s FPSs is all those little jabs they do at each other. Like, I'm afraid of no Quake.
Damn, that's one doomed space marine.
Yeah.
How are you so good at that? What the hell?
What is he, a fucking voice actor or something?
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Mango.
Here's a good one.
Oh wait, Retarded! 7 people here!
What?
We haven't all answered.
I think we should just check and make sure we're like good with the question before we move on.
Before we start a
Okay.
question,
Because I got some stuff to talk about this one.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
So we just go in order.
Go in order.
I have an idea.
All right.
Record head
here's-
isn't allowed to remove the cards, only add them. That's
being sent to the dimension.
I'm sorry. I'm bad.
But yeah, a Mango.
Yo.
If you have anything to say, go ahead.
I already said all I wanted to say. Basically. Sure.
Sure.
Well, I mean, like, not really big crossovers, but yeah, like references, basically.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
same
what
thing
we
with me.
Am I next or who's
Yes. Yes, you
You can go, Ultra.
up? Okay. So, some of you probably already know if you follow me on Twitter. Treasure Tech is pretty cartoony, so it gives me a lot of liberties to just do whatever the hell I want. And months ago, I was playing the Ultra Kill demo going, man, this is nuts. I like this. I wonder. I really like this pistol. The pistol class in Treasure Tech is Mega Class, so it's super powerful, any weapon in that slot. I wonder if I can get that pistol in officially. So I was like, hey, can I? And then Hakita went, yeah, why not? So more and more, we've been talking more recently. Another thing that's going to be in Treasure Tech in the second half, there's going to be a branch of levels that are all references to people I've done business with and associated with. There might be you might go to a certain level that might seem familiar that the pistol comes from, you know what I'm saying? It'd be fun. I can do that stuff, so.
Hello, scumhead.
Hey guys, I had to mute because I read a comment and made me laugh.
And now you're gonna share with the class.
What was it?
I said
Come
I
on,
was thinking
Scum.
of
What was it?
I was thinking of a word. I said sent to the dimension. I was like, what should I say after dimension? I didn't say anything, and then they put the dreamed emote. It just, I don't know, that the idea of the cat saying sent to the dimension. I was drinking water and I went.
All right.
Very simple.
Are we good with this question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Here's one for everybody. Who would win if everyone here had to fight everyone else at the same time, barehanded?
Not
I would
me.
strangle myself and die.
Thank
I'll
you
go
for the input,
nuts.
Hockey.
I'll go nuts. I'll go nuts.
I'll kick you in the nuts before I strangle myself and
Oh,
die.
I
no.
would inject lead into my bloodstream and then beat you guys up with my lead arms.
Akira's
And
planet
then
isn't
die
even that
from lead
bad.
poisoning.
You don't
I'm a
really
wild
need
man.
All I
I'll
would
go
have to
nuts.
do
Just-
is boot up, bring my laptop, boot up, hunt down the Freeman, and show it to you guys.
Well,
That's
that's
not
not barehanded.
barehanded.
I'll just look away.
That's cheating.
I'd beat you up. At that point, I'd probably dig my fingers into my head and die.
I think it would. I think at this point it would be more of a race to see who kills like ourselves
Am
first.
I gonna be the only one standing? Am I the only one that's gonna be like doing like?
just neck themselves.
Yeah, just stand in place, nothing happens, you win.
I'm gonna be
Cooler,
doing
so
like
I feel
a
like
like a.
all of you would gang up on me first because I'm an easy takeout.
Yeah, just.
I feel.
This is for skipping questions and liking Earthbound.
Amazing game.
I feel like I'm being
Amazing game.
singled out here.
What
I
are
feel
you
like I'm the
talking about,
most
Hockey?
aggressive one
So
here.
obscure.
Ultra, are you like in shape? Because I'm like a weird like toad creature.
I'm in enough shape. Yeah, I'll shape you all up. It seems like before you guys even get a chance to off yourselves, I'm just gonna be doing like a spinning lariat.
I have
Throw
a
one of you
bad
into each
back.
other. I'll just be screaming the whole time like an animal.
Go monkey mode.
I've never been in great shape. I have had like a bad back my entire life, and I don't know why.
And it's about to get worse.
Yeah.
It might be like the Simpsons. I might fix
Feel
it after I
different.
throw you.
Oh, is that how you came up with the mechanic for Ultra? I mean, Treasure Tech.
Oh, well, I mean, it's Wario Land. There's lots of throwing and stuff, but I guess it's very relatable to think I would do if I was in a fight, throwing people, tackling them.
He connected with Wario on an
Something about
emotional level.
spinning
He
them and
just
then
had
throwing
to.
them. You know, that's
Favorite type of the
relatable.
self-insert.
He even voices the guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's
literally a
convenient
playable
to voice your own
self-insert.
character. I don't need to contact an actor, all right?
The Wario inside him is awoken, says Chapman.
Oh, that's Daiketra. That's my little buddy. Shut up, Daiketra. Oh, he's my little buddy. I see you there too, Glumpy. You're not safe either. I'll talk to both of you after this.
Alright, next question.
All right. This one is for Ultra.
Ooh!
You put out another demo before the release.
Yes, it will not be anytime soon, though. It'll be like in a few months. The current demo that I released was built in a way because Treasure Tech, the gameplay modifier, released, and then a few months later, I made the first demo. That demo was kind of intended for people that was familiar with the gameplay mod because everyone was like, "Make maps for it," and I was like, "I am. Here's a slice of it." However, Hakita played the demo, and I came to this realization that if someone was not familiar with this kind of specific cut of the GC Doom scene, it can be really jarring, and there's like a massive learning curve. He ended up like toughening up through it.
It was a lot to take in, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, here's a manual." I'm like, "Oh okay, I'll read that," and it's like 70 pages.
in retrospect, I had this like massive realization, like the camera slowly zooming in on my face as my eyes widen. So I've been taking a lot of notes, and we talked a lot about this. I'm going to be way more. I want to make it much more approachable. I have to start considering the audience that might not play Doom. I think that's something I need to consider. It was originally built for the audience that would be familiar with gameplay mods and play them constantly, but now I feel like I should be a bit more. This is like a full game I'm making now, so I should make the next demo much more comprehensive. But yeah, the manual is huge. Part of it was I wanted to make like a 90s, early 2000s style video game manual. So I did. And in my memory from the ones I had, they're kind of long.
They're pretty
So
complicated.
again, I got a ton of fan mail all being like, "This is so great. This is awesome. It's like one of my favorite parts of it. Thanks for the manual." And then seeing someone else's reaction of, "I'm not reading this." Like, what do you think I have time to read? It's like, oh my god, I did not even consider that at all.
I play 2 hours of games a month. I ain't gonna fucking read.
So, for Treasure Tech Land's next demo, it is going to be much more, I want to say, widely approachable and help let the players sink in a bit more. Plus all the new features I have planned. I got some great stuff planned for you folks. So yes, there will be another demo before the release of Treasure Tech Land.
Ooh.
That's it.
Oh,
mean,
Period.
I could sing a song for you.
Here's a good one. Your favorite album of all time.
Ooh.
Oh, Strick.
Uh,
Better pick a good one or I'll fucking strangle you.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
okay.
it's dangerous
I'll
with
be,
Akira in here.
I don't really. I mean, like, I guess if like,
Just say the Earthbound soundtrack. It's obscure.
Yeah,
I'd say
I'm gonna let that
probably
one down, am I?
the original Quake soundtrack. I don't listen to albums very often. I mean, like, I like some of my favorite stuff would be like, I listen to a lot of like game music, but like I don't, especially not heavy metal stuff. Like outside of games, I don't listen to heavy metal. Period. But I absolutely love the Quake soundtrack. I would say the Doom Eternal soundtrack, but the problem is just the album for that is yikes.
4.5 hours long.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that, like, one, they pulled it down, and two,
Oh, right, yeah.
it was a big mess. The Quake OST is absolutely wonderful.
It is.
I absolutely love the Doom Eternal soundtrack. Personally, I prefer it to the 2016 soundtrack, but like the 2016 soundtrack does have a finished album that was made by the composer and is not a poorly edited together mess. Which I'm not, like, I understand like the situation behind that, and I'm not blaming anyone who's involved with that. But like, you know, personally, whilst I do prefer the Eternal soundtrack, like I said, I do think the 2016 one does have like a more comprehensively finished experience of an album as opposed to the Eternal one, which is kind of now just like random edits I can find online of the music that are better than like what's on the actual album itself, which was again pulled down. But like
he does the best.
Yeah. But if I had to pick like my favorite, it would definitely be like the Quake OST, or Doom 64's OST is also really really good.
All right. My pick is The Seer by Swans, which is like a 2-hour massive fuck of a sound. It's hard to even call music because it has like this sort of it has a sort of like amazing thing about it is I've listened to it like 50 times or something, and every single time I listen to it I still find something new because there's like so many layers to each of the songs, and there's like so many things that you never would notice unless you're like really looking into it. And then you have the amazing performances it's like it's built around like sort of repetition and slow build up, all these amazing grooves, all like every song is unique and memorable over the course of like the 2 hours. But they all fit in like with a consistent tone, consistent sound, and it is just like I could fucking gush out about it like longer than the actual album is. But I'll for the sake of everyone listening to this, I'll just say listen to The Seer by Swans and move on to Mango.
I don't actually really listen to like albums. I just kind of listen to like individual pieces of rhythmic sound.
What's your favorite song, Mango?
Yeah, do you have a favorite song?
Seek and Destroy.
By who?
Metallica?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Peter.
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 I don't know. When it comes to favorite,
I do that every time now.
when it comes to favorite albums and just generally music, I don't really cling onto things. I keep jumping around between which one is my favorite at the moment, quite often. But if I had to pick something right now, I would probably choose Machine Girl, WLFGRL. I suppose it's said.
Wolf Girl.
Yeah.
Choices. God, that's such a good album. Holy shit, you are a man of character.
Honestly, the Ugly Art is better.
Of course,
just
Scum
saying.
likes it
Ugly
because
Art.
there's Wolf
Ugly
Girl
Art
in the
is
title.
also great. You guys have good taste in music.
No, I don't.
There's some good Machine Girl tracks.
How was the track called? I mean, the album called Akira, the one you.
The Ugly Art.
Okay,
That is such a good.
noted.
It's a great album.
Feeling. I think some people upset with Demon Days by Gorillaz.
Oh, that's great.
It's a very obscure album.
Very obscure.
It is not.
Almost-
We're never gonna let that go. Holy shit.
I mean, I haven't
Then
heard
were you
it,
like-
so
Not quite there yet, but almost as obscure as Earthbound.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. You don't deserve this.
Deserve this. I'm the one that put this all together.
This is your punishment.
If I had to pick like an obscure album, instead of one by my favorite band, it'd probably be "Ouch" by Matt Watson.
Matt Watson, the YouTuber?
Yeah, he released an album apparently, and it was really good.
What a fucking
Scumhead, what about you?
normie.
Gee. I mean, to be fair, that's to be expected.
Oh,
Oh no,
Uh-oh.
oh,
Who
it's
died?
going to be broken.
He
and
said
sounds like-
he'll be back. He said he'll be back.
who
It
died?
was like his phone must have
There's
broken.
Mango.
Oh, okay, at least it didn't break the stream overlay, but don't leave.
I get to stand on the blue carpet now.
Oh right, and I'm next to
on the yellow
Akira now,
streets right now.
somehow.
I am. How am I a normie?
Okay.
Who's next for albums?
Listen. You picked the fucking Gorillaz album, and then you picked the YouTuber's album.
It is not. I didn't even know it was by a YouTuber. I didn't even know it was by a YouTuber when I listened to it.
Yes! But hold on.
I didn't even know
hold
who
on.
Matt
Let's
Watson
not get
was.
into an argument. Let me tell my favorite album, please.
Okay. Cool.
Fine, go ahead, Scum. Well, what do you want me to say, Hakita?
To be fair,
Like some random SoundCloud album.
to be
You
fair,
should say Ejaculation Generator by Masona.
What?
You and your crazy albums.
Nah, you guys are just
guys and
weak.
your crazy albums. Oh, you and your basic music tastes.
I'll say my favorite
right, whatever.
album now.
Go ahead, Scum.
A Silver Mount Zion. What is it called? He Left Us Alone, but Shafts of Light grace the corner of our rooms. It's like the longest title ever, but
Yeah, the debut.
Sorry, I'm back.
it's fantastic. That's like a weeping. That's like I want to be depressed right now. I'm listening to that for like 6 years. It's fucking fantastic.
Well, actually, I have a good one now.
Okay.
oh, that's a bit too much.
Whoa.
That one with Dr.
volume.
Feelgood on it from Motley Crue.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, sorry. I don't have very good musical memory
Okay.
when has to think.
Your audio has died.
What?
Oh, jeez.
You breathed into the mic.
It's not his fault.
Sorry.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, he's ultra.
I had to run and get
Is it-
something
is
and
it my turn?
got my configuration.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay,
hold on.
I'm ready.
Okay. Whose turn? Ultra?
Is it my turn? I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's Ultra's turn.
Coom explosion album.
I have a feeling that this. Go ahead.
Go
Ultra.
on. No, go on. What
No,
is it?
you go on.
No, you were talking. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a feeling that this question is going to be the one that rips us apart.
Nah, it just
before
rips
you
you
do
apart.
Before we do that,
All right. Well,
Yeah, you.
question.
all right. Well, I listen to a lot of different types of music. I'm no music expert, but I love music. But I think what I like the most is hip hop, and the album that I come back to like multiple times a year is Mad Villainy with the late MF Doom and the producer Madlib. It's an excellent album. I don't know if it's my like. People always debate if it's like the best album that MF Doom has produced, but I think it is. It's got a lot of variety in it. All the sound is so good. All the rhymes are great. A great supplement to it. A hip hop big band reperformed all the songs in it. Abstract Orchestra. They did a whole big band version of the whole album. It is incredible. I recommend it if you're into that kind of stuff. So yeah, Mad Villainy with MF Doom and Madlib.
R.I.P. MF Doom.
Nice.
So is that everyone?
All right, moving on.
So before we
Is that
move
that
from
should
this
be
question, I
everybody.
would just want to say this,
let's
that
switch to-
to be fair to YouTubers, not all of them are built the same. Cough, Jack Stauber.
Oh, yeah, Jack
Yes,
Stauber-
Jack Stauber's pretty fucking good.
See, just there we go.
Okay,
dog.
even
I had to clear out the air and just.
I just listened to the music and I thought it was good.
I like a song about coffee and milk. I can't really say that about any other like composer. He's made songs about just the strangest things.
okay, next
This is
question.
next question for everybody. How do you feel about speedrunning?
Fast.
Oh boy, horse freak.
We had a whole thing about this before, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I don't like it. No, I mean, like, I enjoy like speedrunning from the standpoint of like 100% speedruns, or like speedruns where like people are actually like genuinely playing the game. But for me, I don't really enjoy it, like watching people like basically break the game and like doing everything they can to bypass the entire experience. Because for me, it's like, well, at that point, you're not really playing the game. You're just, again, bypassing it. And I don't enjoy that. I don't like doing it. I don't like watching it. I don't, it's, I mean, like I do, like if somebody's like genuinely like attempting to play through my game in that way, like for the most part, I'm not gonna like patch that stuff out unless I'm like, it depends on what it is really. But I don't like, the main thing I don't like is like bug-based speedruns where like players will like, hey, let's clip out of the map here by like hugging this corner and turning left 60 degrees, and then like it'll send me into the stratosphere and I can skip to the end of the map that way or something like that. I hate
Like
that.
Doom
kind of
Eternal
stuff.
speedruns.
Yeah, I hate that kind of stuff. Like, I'm like, if you're going to speedrun it, the bare minimum, play through the maps. But I genuinely like, if someone's going to speedrun, I would prefer it be like 100% speedruns. But I don't enjoy, I don't like speedrunning from that standpoint.
That's fair.
Okay. So,
Doesn't matter. You don't like Andrew Holschult's music.
We didn't have to bring that up here.
that was we were just went past the music stuff. Okay, let's calm down a bit with some speedrunning talk.
Cool it down.
Okay, so my take is I love speedrunning. I think it's really cool. Especially I love seeing speedruns of my game because it always brings up like, because something I always maintain is that video games, like, and art in general, is like, it's a conversation between the artist and then the person like observing the art or playing the art. And in this case, it's sort of speedrunning is one of those rare situations where the player can actually respond back by sort of giving their own version of the game that they're playing, and I think that's really exciting. But I do agree to Ostreak in one way, which is that like if you have a speedrun that's just like you always just like go out of bounds and then just bypass the level, then that's usually pretty boring to watch. But if it's like, I don't mind out of bounds stuff as long as it's in like an interesting way where it's like sort of done in a different way and not just always the same thing where you just clip out and then go to the ending and that's that. Because I do think it's very exciting to always see how people manage to not only find all these weird things but also how to use them properly. Now Mango.
I love the, I don't know why, but the concept of like people seeing this intricately made thing that I made and just absolutely breaking it in half is something that I just cannot get enough of. It's hard to explain, but seeing someone jump over the entire level is something that is just the coolest thing to me.
I'm with you there. Yeah.
And I think I already talked about this, but I actually sometimes purposely put like places where you can skip parts in the map. Like in one of the levels that I made for Shrine 2, I just made like the final area of one of the levels close enough to like where you can bomb jump to it from the beginning with like a damage power up. So yeah.
Yeah, shortcuts. Secret shortcuts.
Yeah.
Everyone loves secrets.
Secrets are secrets for a reason.
Well, yeah, I also find speedruns very fascinating, and I'm generally, I know that glitchless speedruns require usually, not always, of course, but actually no, that doesn't make sense. But glitchless speedruns are more about the game. They don't usually, more of the game is usually kept intact, and it's just about pure skill. But I always found glitch-based speedruns way more fascinating. How people exploit usually very trivial, very tiny holes in the game to just completely take over the control. And sometimes even to a point, like, some of them are, in theory, they're disrespectful, I guess, in a way, by skipping from the start to the credits. But like memory manipulation in, for example, old Mario games is crazy fascinating. That's still speedrunning, and just even skipping whole levels and just learning some very things like accelerated backwards hopping in Half-Life 2. That's all very fascinating, and yeah.
Ostrich, stop beating up people in the background.
I'm sorry.
I thought you said you weren't gonna fight.
It's like a good moment for me to.
So what is it? Wait. What's your opinion on it, Scumhead?
I love speedrun. I don't agree with the like glitches. I want, especially games that I played, like a while back, like Ocarina of Time. That game is just so busted, and the skips you can do, and just like what is it called, like SRM, like still reference manipulation, shit like that. I love that. I love seeing games just completely just break in all sorts of crazy ways. So I love all sorts of speedrunning. It's interesting to see how a game goes from like its intended, how you're supposed to play it, and what like crazy motherfuckers do to make it this most like optimized thing. It's a long-winded way to say that I think it's dope. I have to piss again. I'll return briefly.
What are you doing, man?
I have like the
Peter's also pissing.
swirl. Piss
Bladder
time, everybody!
Alright, bye, Scum. Peter's gone as well. I feel like this
Also pissing. Maybe they're
I
just
feel
going to
like
the
we should
bathroom
all-
together.
It's challenge pissing.
I
It's
also
competition.
need to take a piss, so
Oh.
I'll just answer. 'cause it's
everybody-
my
Yeah.
turn, so.
Keep
Yeah,
keep
just talk
keep
amongst
keep the
yourselves,
answer long so that everyone can piss in the meanwhile.
Oh, yeah. I'll speed run my answer to make it extra short. I am a huge fan of tool-assisted speedruns. I like the idea of someone playing a game to the utmost perfection of like inhumane levels to see where like technically this is possible, but no one has like a processor of like a brain computer. No one's going to be able to play that well ever.
Yeah.
So being able to see that of like that what-if situation is very fascinating to me.
It's like it transcends the bounds of skill and is only like limited by the bounds of like the knowledge of how the game works.
Yeah. Like,
The funny thing is, with some games like Ultra Kill, you could actually argue that the tool-assisted run would be canon since you are playing as a robot.
That's a fun way to look at it. When it comes to my own work, though, I kind of had like a revelation, basically. One of my like main testers for Treasure Tech Land, he thoroughly tested the map. He gave me his review of things that needed to be adjusted. 10 minutes later, he sent me a speed run that he did where he beat the map in a minute, grabbing a toilet off of the exit room and running to the exit with it, and called it the toilet speed run. And I was like, what'd you do? I made that whole level. You skipped everything. But the more I sat and thought about it in his method of how he got to the exit the way he did, I got more and more like less angry and more hyped about it, where I was like cheering him on, because it is really neat that he took what mechanics were there, observed what he had, made a plan, and it was this very small window that you could very easily mess up, but he pulled it off. It like took him multiple tries. I think there's merit to it. It's almost like finding new abilities in something that you didn't even make. Like these new things are just appearing that have always been there. It's very fascinating to me. I'm a fan. You know, I think it's neat.
Yeah.
Got back just in
So
time.
is that everybody?
Yep.
Yes, completed my
All right.
toilet percent very nicely.
Oh, good. Challenge pissing complete.
People are banging around
This is for
upstairs. I'm
everybody.
scared.
Civi
Go
11
bang
is a
with them.
secret boss in your game.
Nope.
There is a secret boss in my game, but it is not Civi 11.
There is also a secret boss in my game, and it's kind of actually related, but it's not CV.
Also, it's Cancer Mouse.
Yeah. And
The
it
only
dies in
game
one hit.
Civi's in. Why is Cancer Mouse in so many more games than Civi?
Because it's
Civi's
easier
just
to put a
one
mouse
game.
in a game.
He's too powerful.
Civi would just like one hit the player and everything, and that's no fun.
It's so easy to put a green mouse. Just put a green mouse, done. Civi reference. Boom.
Every time he attacks a player, a sound clip of Gordon Ramsay going, "Fucking raw!"
I feel like if he was here, he'd be like, "No, stop saying those things, please. Don't make me known for the memes." I can already see him saying that kind of stuff.
No, okay, guys.
He's really
Please,
embarrassed and upset.
guys, please remember to ask every possible game about a pro video.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking loves it when you ask for a pro video.
Oh my god.
Don't do it. I already told him he doesn't have to do it.
Win.
He already seems like a really. He's so tired. I feel like always. Please be nice to Civi.
Dude.
He supports Treasure Tech greatly. Speaking of, he's not going to be a secret boss, but he's he might.
For contractual obligation, I have to say that CV does not enjoy people asking him for pro videos. Please don't ask him for pro videos.
It's okay. I already told him he doesn't have to do Pro Mr. Fest, and I'm pretty sure he understands why that would be a mistake.
Because he sucks at it.
That was intimidating.
Threatened him with a knife.
He didn't believe me how hard the game was going to be, and he was like, "Well, it's funny actually. He played a way harder version of it than is currently publicly available."
You add Markiplier to your game.
What do you mean the game was harder?
Oh yeah, it was harder. We did a couple of rebalancing patches and where we toned things down a bit from the version that he had played that he showed off in his video.
Yeah.
But okay,
I think
we
next question.
Yeah.
Next question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the weirdest thing that you've been recommended to put in your game?
CB11.
Man, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about that.
I have a story that
You guys get it too, right? You guys get some weird shit too, right? I'm not the only one, right?
I mean, like, have you seen my game? Of course, I get weird recommendations.
I have, yeah. I suppose. Oh.
I mean, I do have one that's not like weird in like a hoo ha ha way, but one that I think is such a like a dumb, honestly, like a dumb suggestion is people keep asking for like, oh, can you add a arm that's a shield? And it's like, why the fuck would I add a shield when you have a parry? That's just a boring version of a parry. Why would you want the boring version of the game?
Because parrying is hard.
Yeah, well, get good, asshole.
Or play on, future lower difficulties.
Mm.
I don't feel like that would gel very well.
Yeah,
Someone
baby.
please clip Hakita saying that. Please clip a Hakita saying that.
Do you guys ever get questions of like, can you add me to the game? Because I've gotten those.
Only once, and I was like, "What?"
It's kind of scary.
I feel
You're
like I'm
afraid to
dealing
say
with like
no.
a serial killer.
Hey, maybe Sippy
like-
left that the previous question.
Sippy come up to you guys and say, "Hey guys, add me to the game."
Or put me in your game. So, alright.
Put me in your
I do
game.
have a knife, so.
All right. Is that
I have.
this one is for
I've not answered yet.
This one's for the Shrine developers.
Wait.
Not again.
What are you doing?
We're not done.
Oh, everybody seemed like they were done. Okay.
No.
No,
I mean, like, you know, I feel like it's pretty well known that everybody wants that end credits cutscene that I won't verbally speak out loud about. That my composer and my cutscene artist have threatened me with. But
Does it include farm animals?
no, it does include the main character and her fiance though. But no, in all seriousness, I had this like weird DM session where this guy was like constantly recommending me just like random things. I was like, what are you doing? Like, why would he want? Like, he wanted me to add like Castlevania health food pickups to the game, and like he was giving me like really stupid random like enemy suggestions. It was like, could you like add jet boots to the game, and can you add like this? I was like, why? Like, it's just like weird stuff where it was like, for starters, like you don't even know if like half of this stuff is going to be in the game to begin with, because like it's just like, you know, you've only really played the beginning of it. But secondly, it's just like, it was a bunch of like suggestions where I was like, there is no practical reason why I would add it. And like I really, that entire conversation I would say is like eligible for it. But yeah.
Anyone else?
I have a very, very similar experience to that.
Yeah.
It was almost kind of insulting in a way. I released Treasure Tech, and I got a message from this guy. He gave me a list of things that he prefaces that I like it a lot, but he gives this massive list of complaints. Some of them were valid, some of them were kind of nitpicky, but that's fine. That's fine.
Whoa.
And then he proceeded to give me a massive multi-paragraph. This is what you need to do, and to shorten it up, there is a Doom mod known as Complex Doom, and basically he wanted me to basically rip everything out and make it like that. And the slow realization, I was getting a little angry. I let him off, you know. I didn't like say anything mean to him. I was like, hey, thanks for the recommendation. But to have someone come up to me and take so much effort to basically tell me to make something that already exists, just in the flavor that it is, I don't know. That was really painful. I don't.
Yeah, it's like some people just don't realize that you're not making their game, you're making your game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope I never.
Yeah, like even the conversation I had with that guy, I was like, well, you know, like, you know, if this is all like this doesn't fit with my game and our vision of what we're making. Why don't you take these ideas and you do something with them?
Yeah,
like,
that message, that everyone I know gets messages like that, and that's always their response. Why don't you do it yourself? And they're like, I don't want to. It's insulting, right? Like, come on, guys. Yeah. Like, we're making our own thing.
That hasn't even happened to me, and I'm already seething.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's, you know, it almost sounds arrogant to say, I guess. But I'm not making the game for other people. I take it back, and I'm trying to, like, you know, I do want people to enjoy the game. But at the same time, like, first and foremost, I'm making this for me. I'm making this for my enjoyment. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I want, like, for me, like, my perspective is, like, I make something for me first, and if people enjoy it, then fantastic. I'm not gonna like change my vision of what the game is to account for someone else, and I don't care if it's like the publisher. I don't care if whatever it happens to be. I'm not like catering to anyone else but myself. And you know, like, if people want to make recommendations, or if they want, you know, like, hey, I think this is gonna improve the game. Like, I will listen. Like, I do want feedback, and I do want ideas on how I could improve the game. But at the same time, like, you know, there is a degree to where I am only willing to go so far. I'm not willing to I'm not willing to compromise my vision of what I want my thing to be, in order to cater to someone else's tastes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you guys think this is bad, you haven't heard about ImSim fans, because boy, some of the shit that gets recommended for Gloomwood is so bad.
Oh God.
That would make me like quit the internet. I couldn't take that, dude.
Yeah.
Like what little, like, you get like one message like that, and then my day is ruined.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Did anyone have anything else to say about it?
So my first work that like actually got finished and released on the internet was a mod based off of that Doom mod, and I had like a bunch of weapons for each class covering like all various bases, and someone wanted me to make a craftable imp bone shotgun, not any other type of bone, imp bone. And I'm like,
Specifically imp.
Oddly specific.
why? You have 7 shotguns.
I just really
Don't
hate
need
imps.
another.
I want to
Or
kill them
maybe-
with their bones. Come
or
on, make
maybe-
it happen. Do it for
Or
me,
maybe
kid.
it's symbolic, as in they want to bone an imp.
Oh, they're picking the wrong mod then.
Yeah, there's one right down the street that you could choose.
With a certain letter.
Yeah. Like, they were going so hard to try and convince me to get it, and I'm like, dude, this doesn't work. But it should! And it's like, just make your own thing, man.
Do you guys ever get like idea guys?
Oh yeah.
There's like 100 things. We should
yeah.
totally add this to the game.
Now, even better than idea, guys, is I've had a couple people basically send their game design documents to me, like, hey, can you make this game?
Oh my god! That happens more than you'd think. Like, I'm not big at all, but that happens to me like a
God.
couple times a month. It's really weird. Like,
It's like the worst part is like, dude, I just released my game on early access. I'm not gonna start your game, even if I cared about it. And I don't care about it. It's garbage.
That's just working with a client. It usually you get paid for that, especially
Get
the
a-
folder.
I got one, and it's literally just like, dude, this is just Quake. This is just Quake. It's literally like, okay, that's a shambler. Like,
Yeah.
it's just Quake.
I've said a few recommendations before. Have I ever annoyed any of you guys?
I mean,
Recommendations are one thing. Being an
Yeah.
ideas guy is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come off with this
Yeah, there's-
aura of
there's
just
a
pride.
Difference between them.
It's
Like, if some-
I remember
like,
I
don't be
showed
afraid to make
Mingo a cool,
recommendations.
like,
Yeah, but
I showed Mingo like a cool reload animation that I thought would look kind of nice in Lecture
Yeah.
9 or something.
But also
You remember
something that I just want to say
I
real
think,
quick to people who don't.
That's completely different from being an ideas guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just something I wanted to say real quick about that is, like giving recommendations or suggestions is fine, or giving ideas is fine, but just don't be surprised if the developer doesn't answer, because that's probably the 50th time they've heard the question and they're bored of it.
Mm.
Now, this is bad. It's like, what if they do have a good idea?
It's very rare, but it does happen.
It happens. It's happened. But I will say it's on the rare side.
Yeah. I mean, a good idea is a good idea.
This was a good question. This
Yeah.
really went. This was. I like this one.
Yeah, I do. Like, probably the most common one I see from that is like, everybody knows I'm obsessed with like coming up with one-liners, and like everybody constantly like recommends one-liners to me. I'm like, hey, cool. I'm not putting that. Like, there's no way in hell. Because it's like I don't want to be mean to people, but like, there's a lot of really bad ones.
Mm,
There's a point where you got to put your foot down.
Yeah.
yeah.
You have a line where Caroline says, "I'm gonna eat your butt," please.
No.
This really is a Viscera fest. And you just
Oh,
like
ew.
block that person that recommended that.
You
Spend
should
it
have
as
said,
fast.
Continue this
Viscera
Viscera
Fest.
Fest.
Oh,
I guess
God.
this really is the treasure check.
Well,
I'm
I
probably
guess-
gonna, I'm
I
probably
guess
gonna
I
make him
just-
say that.
I guess I truly just got
This
an
the
ultra kill.
shrine. 2.
Well, this is so shrine 2 right now. Oh, I've got a good
Is this a shrine too?
Is it?
Fire level 2 shrines in it?
This
Shrine.
is shrine
2.
3.
Probably move on to another question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're
We're getting
Moving on.
I think we're
Moving
ready
on.
here.
Moving on.
He's already dead.
All right, this one's for Peter. How
Oh.
much do you really love Dreamed? Not that I'm holding him, her, them hostage or anything. Ah ha 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 ha.
No, it's not. Ha 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 ha. It's So
That's the hardest I've heard Peter laugh.
A psychopath game developer.
yes, I mean not this one, but that's answer the question. Yes. There we go. Next question. We didn't filter.
Get filtered, kid.
Oh my god.
Filtered. All right. Trying to find a good one.
Hey, remember when you were like, "Oh man, what if we run out of questions?"
Oh my, you have so many of them.
I knew it was
Yeah,
gonna go
let's
like
play
this.
some
Like,
Half-Life 2 deathmatch, huh?
Yeah,
So, come on.
in 2 days.
Before we get
Christ,
to the next
that's
one,
so many.
yeah, how long should we keep going for? Should we try and like wrap it up in like 30-ish maybe?
I'm fine with just
You
keeping
guys-
going to like
yeah,
6 a.m. I don't care.
I can keep going.
I don't
You
care.
guys are
Keep
insane.
going.
Oh, really?
I have
I
nothing
don't.
else to do.
I have
Time is
nothing to
relative,
do with my
it's-
life.
It's Sunday.
I mean,
today,
honestly, the way we can do it is, you know, if you get tired, if you wanna go, then you can just go, and the rest of us can keep going in the meanwhile. Just
Okay.
whenever it's comfortable for you to leave.
Yeah.
I'll probably stay for like another hour,
Wait.
and then I'll probably head off because I'm nocturnal.
Yeah,
Alright.
sure.
All right. This
Okay.
one is for Scumhead and Mango.
Hooray!
Is Shrine 3 gonna be made with a new engine, or is it gonna be like 1 and 2? Or if you have plans
Oh,
for
definitely
Shrine 3.
Doom. Definitely
Yeah.
the Z Doom engine.
Yeah, it'll probably be GZ Doom, and keep in mind
Probably.
Shrine 3 that's not coming like anytime soon. I mean, I'm working on Vomitorium. Mango's got his own projects in college and stuff. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
hot minute if we even end up doing it and not just want to like start fresh with something more creative. But if we do make it, it's definitely gonna be a GZ Doom thing.
Working on the Mega Man pack, right, Mango?
Yeah, I'm working on this weapons pack for a Doom-based Mega Man deathmatch thing.
Yeah. The Mega Man
So,
8-bit one?
yeah. What?
The Mega Man 8-bit deathmatch?
Yeah, making like a weapons pack for it.
I have.
That's
And
a
it's
lot
cool
of fun. Keep
shit.
an eye on that. How did it feel making Shrine 2 and seeing it? Let's say, what's it like, when it exploded in popularity?
You go first.
Okay, I mean, it was tough because, Treachery was a hard product to make because we were constantly adding shit to it to make it better, and going back and fixing bugs and stuff. But releasing it was very satisfying. I wouldn't say it's blown up. It's people don't like recognize Shrine 2 as much as they would recognize like Ultra Killer or Viscera Fest.
Oh,
Even
thank you.
Treasure.
Still pretty big, especially
Yeah,
for like an
I'd
indie
say it's
product.
quite recognizable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Especially within our small community.
Yeah, like the thing is, I barely follow any Doom modding stuff, but I know Shrine too.
Well, that makes my heart beat.
Well, damn.
Doki
Nice.
doki.
Well, hi.
I told you about the thing that
You would have kissed.
I was sitting at school and my dad came up to me and asked me about whether I knew who made Vomitorium or not because he saw that it got over 150% of its goal.
Which is mental, by the way. I did not expect that.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's fucking terrifying. But
I wish you the
but-
best of luck.
thank you. But yeah, that's also pretty cool. that
Crazy.
he had-
Because like you've seen things like Mighty Number 9 and stuff happen before, and like you're worried about.
Maybe you shouldn't bring up those games where it's
What are you
fucking
doing? This is Shovel Knight was a
Sorry.
success. You'll be.
I don't know. It's just it must be hard.
It is tough, and it's scary. And when wanting to sell a Doom mod is kind of like an unspoken like sin to do. So I've been really worried about like, oh, you're gonna sell that? You should be free. All your other stuff was free. So it's been stressful.
I
but
don't think that's the
You
case nowadays.
yeah,
That's
you
what
deserve
you
you
know
deserve,
what to do.
you
It's like
deserve some
actually
fucking
conversion.
money.
the amount of effort that goes into stuff like that is obscene to the point where it's like if somebody's honestly like going to say like this doesn't deserve like financial compensation for the amount of work that's gone into it, they deserve to have their license revoked.
Yeah, that's insulting for them to suggest that. There have been commercial
Because
games
it's made
in
on
the Doom
an old engine. Just because it's made on an old engine doesn't mean it's not its own game.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with everything you're saying, and I hold that opinion as well. It's just, you know.
You seen Half-Life 2?
Huh?
Based on the Half-Life 1 engine, which is based off the Quake engine.
Which is based off the Doom engine, which is based off the Wolfenstein engine, which is based off the Warcraft engine.
Yeah, it all boils back.
Based off the Hover Tank engine. 64-bit.
It's off of the Pong
Half
engine.
bit,
Okay.
quarter bit.
Okay.
All right, next question.
Hold on.
Alright, holding on. Next question.
Okay.
Oh no, I've just realized something.
This one's what?
Everyone can go at any time if it's too late or they don't want to continue the interview. I can't. I'm streaming. It's midnight.
Oh my god.
See you until
You're
8
stuck
a.m.
in
everyone.
purgatory.
Come on, Peter. Last time we streamed, we stayed up until like 6.
Yeah, but
Hey,
it wasn't.
Peter,
it
you were the
wasn't-
one that stayed up till 4 a.m. for a pizza.
It wasn't
so
Sunday.
You shouldn't be complaining.
What does it matter if it's Sunday? Do you have a fucking work tomorrow? No.
I do.
Yeah, well,
What if
you're
Roll
fucking
came down and no one
Austrian.
has anything to do.
Only I have to wake up tomorrow. I mean.
I mean, we all do.
Man, so
We all do.
Yeah, let's continue. Just the question.
all right. This one is for Peter. How flexible will the level editor be? Will we be able to create some advanced scripted events? Will we be able to change players' loadout and make a level start with something else than a default spawning room, like in 0 to 1?
Oh, right, that's a good one.
0-1?
That's a good one. So
That's skimming Mingo and Hakita's head.
basically, at the moment you can. Yeah. So let me just address everything individually. Custom advanced scripted events. So there is no scripting at the moment. Probably, who knows, maybe forever, but at the moment there is no scripting. You can reuse components that I made, that Akira made, everything. And that allows you you can make triggers, you can make cutscenes with animators, you can make some semi-logic. It all works if you yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can go on Peter's like YouTube channel. You can look at the stuff
Oh, yeah.
he's already made. Like the level is really early still, but Peter's been able to make some really fucking weird stuff already, like a bunch of basically interactive cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's you can call that.
Yeah, it works there.
And yeah, will you be able to change players' loadout? This is not possible at the moment, but yes,
But it will be.
I will absolutely want that in, and I know how to do it. I just
Like making custom weapons.
no, that's
No, just like picking which weapons the player can have.
yeah, you'll be able to choose. I don't know, maybe use the standard player loadout, and I don't know, ban a certain weapon, or just force a layout, or just
Kind of like in the first secret mission, you can only use the charge revolver.
Yeah, and the next one is oh yeah, can you make custom? I mean, different level starts. Yes. I'm actually going to ship that into the editor really soon for BGB and other people who have access to use it. You will be able to choose not only the first room, but also you can already choose the first secret room, so the gray one without the shop, where you change your layout and stuff. Loadout, I mean. What am I saying? A loadout. But you will also be able to just spawn a the thing you fall from without a room, and I will probably also have one with just a player and nothing else. Yeah. Yeah, that's. I think
nice.
that's everything.
All right, moving on. What's the worst issue you've ever had to troubleshoot in any game you've ever worked on?
Well, I can take this one because I already know the exact one, because it was a bug in 0.2 where there's a bit where the swords machine, which is the next level's boss, like runs across a hallway from like the left to right, and sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes players would just have him stand still and not do anything. So at this point, I was already a part of New Blood, so we had Hank, who's one of the QA guys. We had him try to troubleshoot the thing, and basically, he just kept going through the same hallway over and over again for 6 hours trying to find the bug, and he couldn't find it. We had no idea what happened, and then someone from the it was Locked, I think, a guy called Locked from the Ultra Kill Discord. He found it, and what you had to do is you had to make it so that, because the swords machine comes in from a door, you have to step in front of the door so that it doesn't close. And if the door doesn't close, then the swords machine will just stop and not go forward. And it's like, what the fuck is that? Why would a door being open stop him from moving forward? And I mean, we figured it out eventually. Is that it's trying to find the quickest path to where it's going, but because there's a locked door in front of it, then it decides, oh well, I have to go around it, and then it tries to make a path like backwards to the whole level, and it can't obviously go there, so then it just stands still and fucking doesn't do anything.
I'd say for us, and this is something that, like, I think Elijah, our programmer, would be able to answer better than I could. But I'd say, like, the one that comes to mind most prevalently was we were getting ready to ship the demo, back in, like, August of last year. And it was, like, our hair was on fire, and we were sitting there screaming, because whenever we would make a build of the game, there would be no audio at all. No. The music was working. The music was working fine, but none of the other audio would work. Like, no matter what. And, like, we sat there. I think we stayed, like, I remember, like, I think we were working on this up until, like, the last day. We sat up, like, until, like, 6 in the morning, working on this, trying to fix the crap. And then we went to bed. I think we had it fixed by that point. And we went to bed, and we woke up 4 hours later, and we kept working on it until, like, I think noon, like maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, trying to just finishing everything up and polishing things up. But yeah, like that was a nightmare, because it was like it hit like with a day before we were planning to ship the demo, and we were just like, oh my god.
That sounds terrifying. I'm gonna be honest.
We spent like hours. Like, actually, I think it went over the course of multiple days. Actually, now that I think about it, I think like because it was at least like 2-3 days we were fighting with that, like trying to figure out how it was, and like we spent like hours and hours and hours trying to figure it out. And like I said, like the day before we were planning to ship the demo, like I think we started working at about like 6 p.m. the day, and we ended up like going to bed at like either 6-7 a.m. the next morning. And I think
my God.
I think at that point we had it fixed, and then we got up like 2-3 hours later, and we started pumping out more stuff just so we could wrap it up.
That nightmare scenario, holy shit.
Yeah.
Mango?
Vomitorium, I was trying to like all these weapons to like all the weapons are okay, the ball, you can turn into like this fetus ball thing. Imagine the Morphball from Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was freaking apocalyptic trying to like get the transformation to work. And like I spent a whole day trying to just get it to work, and then I literally put a number in quotes. That what was making it not work.
I didn't know about that. That's
yeah,
awful.
I wanted to cry. It was like,
That's the worst.
why isn't this working? Why isn't it working? And it's literally just two characters.
That's usually what it is, though, right? It's like this one tiny little error he made randomly, and the whole thing's just shit busted.
That reminds me. I'll get to that later.
Peter, do you have one?
Yeah. I've
He's
been
a
thinking.
programmer, so
I've been thinking, and I think I know which one should I.
Akira, please.
No, not the worst issue. I think
please.
level editor
Akira,
Akira.
please.
Remember the whole level editor saga?
Nope.
Not linking. Assets not linking. So yeah, basically, I had a semi-functioning level editor. Yeah, I had a functional level editor 11 months ago already. Before I even was a Ultrakill developer. It was, yeah, I made a level and uploaded it to YouTube, and yeah, so it was fully functional, but the levels were like 1 gig maybe, something like that. Because I was basically repackaging all the assets from the game. So I knew what I had to fix. I knew I had to make link like the assets instead of bundling them. I had to just point like to the game, you know.
Yeah, basically, just to quickly explain what PITR means is basically every time you would make a new map, it would have to include every single file and model and sound and every script all in that single level always, and that's why it was fucking massive.
Yeah, and I couldn't get linking assets to work for so long. I'm playing a video on stream right now, in the corner.
Gameplay.
Yeah, this is basically how it looked like, because I couldn't figure out how to do it, and after a lot of research and testing, and talking to Unity support even, I've ended up making Agony, which is the all of Ultrakill is split into bundles, and then I can just grab things from the common bundle and it works perfectly now. Yeah, and maps can be 6 megabytes, but this one took me so long. I had a functional level editor, like the basis for it, 11 months ago, which is crazy. And only quite recently it's actually, you know, it had a rewrite and everything, but yeah, it's been a long time, and this issue was terrible. Yeah.
Ultra?
Sure, I'll go. So I have two that I'll go through really quick. Recently for Vomitorium, I've been working with Terminus on getting the dialogue system to work, and it is the most like backwards bullshit way you make people talk to you. Like, we wanted it so you just press the use key on the guy and he did the dialogue, but we were smacking our heads against it for like 2 days, and then now we have it so they give you an inventory item that executes the script. It is ass backwards, but it works. And then this one, I don't want to throw Mango under the bus, but neither of us knew anything about this, but the whole time we were making, like, for a long time and trying to like a month of development at least, we had, instead of, you know, giving it like a decorate code, we just had it replaces, you know, one of the base Doom 2 items. So you can imagine how horrible that went when we had to make it in like an IWAD, like something that executes without Doom 2. So I had to go back.
That's something that replaces things that aren't there, basically. So
yeah. We had to go back. I had to re-give like all of them new decorate codes, and then also like cross-reference where things were supposed to be in the maps, and re-add like everything in the map. It was a fun, like, 6 hours set.
So sorry, man.
It's okay. Neither of us had any idea that wouldn't work, but now we know, and that will never happen again. But it was one of those, you know, vibing in your underwear,
I'm sorry.
sweating your ass off.
I'm sorry, technical difficulties. Hold on, I'm sorry. I have no idea what's playing, and no, seriously, what is playing? What is even going on?
Did you accidentally leave?
But what did I? Where's the YouTube? Where's the YouTube? Did OBS? What the hell happened? Oh no way! OBS kept it in memory. Okay. Okay, it's all fixed now, but it wasn't fully my fault. OBS did a very, very weird thing, and it wasn't...
Don't worry, Peter wasn't gaming.
V1 broke into Peter's house.
After he got bored, he was to start playing like Doom Eternal.
V1 broke into Peter's house. Peter is literally the teacher forgetting to turn autoplay off. No, the thing is, the window was closed. OBS just somehow kept the browser loaded in, even though it wasn't
if you
anywhere.
load a browser in OBS, it'll do that. That's happened to me before on stream.
Yeah, well, it's fixed now. Sorry, I'm really sorry for the interruption.
Oh, it's alright.
No, it's okay. I was pretty much done, so Ultra can go now.
So one of the key mechanics of treasure tech is being able to throw enemies. It's one of the greatest trials that I've ever faced in my life that required overwriting so many of Doom's core mechanics to get to work. And it's the weirdest bug. It makes no sense. Me and my buddy spent a long time trying to fix it. So you stun an enemy with the stun punches. When you hit them when they're stunned, you pick them up, throw them. That works. When you kill an enemy with a stun punch, it's supposed to automatically pick them up. Because you finished them off with a stun punch. You might as well just pick them up. They shouldn't just get into a stun state. So that works. But we were getting fatal errors sometimes while playtesting. We were like, what's going on? We learned that if two monsters of different species melee infight, which is rare in Doom, it's a super fatal error. It makes everything just red lights, just instant crash. GZ Doom has no idea what the error is. We read the error message so many times. We had to go so far into the core and override so many things. This took like an entire week. I could feel like bags underneath my eyes trying to solve this. The moment we got it to work, it felt so liberating. It's like I could finally work on other things in the mod again. It's like I want to release it with this feature. Either we make it so if you punch an enemy too many times with the punch that throw them, and they might just end up falling on the floor and dying, and you don't pick them up. That's no fun. It shouldn't be like that. That mechanically makes no sense. I didn't want to give that up, so I kept fighting. Me and my buddy kept looking through all of GZ Doom's stuff and overwriting a bunch of things with Z-Script, and we finally got it to work. But I gotta say, I felt like physically in pain, and Treasure Tech has never done that to me before. So that's my story.
God.
All right, is that everybody?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me. What other FPS games helped inspire yours?
Ooh, I mean, like, there are a lot of games in general that very heavily inspired.
Do we just have to include the FPS? Like, I don't want to include all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's a complicated question.
Say any game.
Yeah.
Just what games in general?
I mean, like, lots and lots and lots of games. Like, initially, like, the big inspiration for Viscera Fest was Doom, because this was back in, like, first time I ever played Doom was back in 2013, and I actually played it on, like, an online browser-based version of the shareware episode. And then I eventually, in 2014, I got, like, the full, and I was 14. Like, I age with the years. I'm 20 right now. I'm going to be 21 very soon.
Oh, my God.
Just so, like, you guys understand, like, when this was happening. So I was 14 when, like, I first played Doom through, like, a source port. And that for me was like a big eye opener because I had been playing like free to play multiplayer shooters, which were all like COD clones at that point. And so I had never like played anything like Doom before, and it was just like, and for me, the way I've always played first-person shooters is I'm always very aggressive in the way I play. Like I am like overtly just like hammering forward to the point where like my friends would always yell at me like why aren't you taking cover and doing stuff? I was like, because this is how I want to play. This is how I have fun. So like to have a game that was like, you know, like actively almost like encouraging me to play. Yes, Fresh, I'm a child. That was actively encouraging me to play in a very aggressive manner. Was like, you know, like very liberating. And it was so much fun. It was an experience I had never had before, and I was just like, I wanna make my game like this, like because I had started working on what would eventually become Viscera Fest when I was 12 years old. So I kind of like took that, and I was like, and I started there, and then I eventually stumbled across Blood, and like Blood was like so first it was Marathon. Marathon was like a big inspiration to me because like I was a big fan of like sci-fi and like Halo at that point too, especially. And it was like, you know, it was like another retro shooter that was kind of in the vein of Doom, but it was more atmospheric. It was like a bit more like darker in tone, and like I loved like the art direction for like the enemies and stuff like that. And so like that was a big inspiration for me going into like making my own game. And then I found Blood, and Blood blew me away because like for me it was like I had always kind of seen I was under the impression that it was like, you know, all like the more, I guess I would call it cinematic stuff stemmed from modern games. I never expected to see like a 90s style first person shooter that had anything that was like particularly like, I guess what you would qualify as cinematic. So like when I played Blood for the first time and I was playing the level wrong side of the tracks, which was like the second level in the game, and I got to this point where like you were walking into the train station, there was like a cultist screaming over the loudspeaker, and like there were zombies chasing around and like hacking citizens down, and like cultists mowing down people, and like TNT was being tossed everywhere. It was just like in my mind, like it was cemented as like a moment that just to me at that point felt like so cinematic that I never expected to see something like that in a game, in like a 90s shooter. And so Blood became a big inspiration to me, and I just love Blood in general. Like, Blood is just a fantastic game.
Oh yeah.
And then what else? Like Tron, like the more recent Tron movie that was terrible, Tron Legacy. That was a big visual inspiration for like the more sci-fi elements of the game. Quake was a massive inspiration from like Quake got me into Lovecraft. And anyone who's like talked to me about the game knows like Viscera Fest takes place within the Cthulhu mythos, and Quake is the reason why that is the case. There was what else? Spyro. Like I love collectathon style games. I don't play them very often, but I absolutely love like collectathon elements in games. And Spyro was kind of the one that kind of like gave me like the mental push to like incorporate some of that into Viscera Fest. I mean, like I could go on and on. Like there are so many games that have like inspired me in little ways, and like so it's like I can't go like, oh, like so many people I hear like, you know, like they do the big box quotes where it's like inspired by games like Doom and Quake, which I hate when I see articles that say that. By the way, I've seen so many articles that say Dusk, a game inspired by games like Doom and Quake. Friggin' Medieval, a game inspired by games like Doom and Quake. Friggin' Ultra Kill, a game inspired by games like Doom and Quake. And I just like, is there like not another name for an article that you guys can come up with? Like that drives me nuts. Like it genuinely like kills me.
That's kind of like it. That's kind of like the whole, what was it? Every horror movie had to have every horror movie had to have. It's like it does for a blank what Jaws did for the sea.
Yeah. But yeah, no, but like anyways, but like it's a case of where there are so many different things that inspired me in like various elements of the game that I really can't just like point to one thing and say this inspired Viscera Fest, because like I like again like there have been so many things where it's like from point A to point B. So many things have like intervened and still intervene, like still think new things that come out and inspire me in what I'm making and give me ideas that I can't just say like oh, it was just this one game that gave, like, you know, this game is inspired by just Blood or Quake or whatever it happens to be. Like, there's 1,000 things that come to mind and that have, like, influenced major design decisions or artistic decisions or whatever it happens to be. Like, because I don't think a lot of people know this. VOD is not meant to look like an old school first person shooter. It's not. That's not why it's pixelated. The reason it's pixelated is because, one, I love pixel art, but two, the art direction for the game was heavily inspired by a top-down action RPG. I don't think it's an RPG now I think about it. It's a Zelda-like called Hyper Light Drifter. Like, that was, like, the major influence on the game's art direction, which, like, most people see it and they kind of just assume, oh, it's meant to look like an old, crusty, you know, first-person shooter from, like, the 90s. And it's like, no, that's honestly not why we went with the art direction that we went with. Like, it's entirely driven by, like a lot of, like, the artistic decisions and stuff are very heavily inspired by Hyper Light Drifter. And so, yeah.
What about you,
Okay.
Akira?
Well, mine's probably gonna be a bit shorter. So obviously the big one, Devil May Cry, because that's like the Devil May Cry 3 is like the best game ever made. That's a fact. Don't dispute it. You can't. Like I don't think I even need to explain, but actually I probably should, because some people are like, oh, you just say it's like Devil May Cry because it has a style meter, and it's like, no, because even like the core. It's like the whole structure of the game, like its arenas and sort of, it's like basically the levels of Ultra Kill, instead of being like these areas to explore, they're basically obstacle courses with like a set number of challenges that you just go through. And then also the way the enemies are designed, they're incredibly simple, which makes them very predictable, which means that they can be in all kinds of interesting formations. You can have all kinds of interesting arenas, and you can have really fast gameplay because you can actually keep up with the enemies without having to look at them. And then you have things like, you know, parrying, the way the bosses are designed, obviously. And it was really funny, the more that I sort of quote-unquote studied DMC, the more I realized that DMC and Doom are actually very similar in a lot of ways, even though it doesn't seem that way, because especially with the way that sort of game design ethos and the way the enemies especially are designed, it's very similar. So those sort of ended up fitting like amazingly well. And another big inspiration that I don't actually talk very much, well, not enough about, is God Hand, because God Hand was a game where that was like a huge inspiration to me, especially in terms of sound design, because God Hand is a loud fucking game. It is always clipping, and that's like, okay, I want Ultra Kill to be like this game where the sound distorts whenever you do anything. And then another thing that I really love about God Hand is that it is the most unapologetically gamey thing ever. Like, there is no pretense of this being a real world. It's just a video game with a video game dude, and you kick dudes into fucking buildings, and it's like, yes.
He kicks them out of the window, yeah.
Yeah, and then you just like kick a dude, and then he doesn't even fly like in an arc. It's just a direct line into the next wall.
The last guy in the row, he just points. The guy throws himself out the window. You know, like at the very same arc. But yeah. No, sorry.
Yeah, and something
Complete opposite of Half-Life.
Yeah, and basically also something that's the same for me as Osric is that I'm really not even that inspired by like the whole look of the game. It wasn't even really supposed to be like, because at the time when I started making Ultra Kill, I didn't know that there was like a retro FPS scene even. I was just like, oh, I need a simple art style. I fucking love how PlayStation 1 games look. I'll just look at Quake 2 on the PS1 and I'll sort of take inspiration from that. But in terms of gameplay, it's really not even inspired by any shooter. And in a way that really shows, but also fuck you, Doom Eternal, for doing so many same things as me.
It's really sucks for a big AAA game to do things that very close to what you've been doing.
In a way, yes, but also it's a good thing in that people now have more of a frame of reference for Ultra Kill, because otherwise it might be like, oh, what's it like? It's like it's like Doom. But then now people can look, oh, it's kind of like Doom Eternal, and then people sort of have an idea of what it might be like.
I feel like there's more than enough differences to substantially like When I play Doom Eternal, I do not think this is like Ultra Kill, and when I play Ultra Kill, I do not think this is like Doom Eternal.
Yeah, especially in terms of course, like Doom Eternal is all about like resource management, and the way the enemies are designed is like the complete opposite of Ultra Kill's enemy design.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll shut up now and let Mengo talk.
Oh well. So in Shrine 2, I had quite a lot of influences, mainly Quake with its like varied weapon design and general like almost hatred of hit scans outside of the player's hands. I mean, of course, there are like enemies like the Shambler that massively telegraph their attacks, or weaker enemies that have weak hit scan attacks, and you know, stuff like that. But yeah, Blood was also a pretty big inspiration for me too, because like all the weapons in Blood are like, when you think about it, they're really, really unconventional. Like instead of getting like, you know, a rocket launcher, you get a napalm launcher that can, you know, like everything has an alt fire that does like a different thing, and yeah, visually. So I was the one who put like all the different like colored lighting in what's it, 22's levels, and I took heavy inspiration from like Doom 64 with like all these very dark and super colorful areas. Generally, yeah, it's I really gotta say.
All right. Peter, you want to go?
No, that I'm irrelevant here. You can go.
Why?
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
And before I answer, I think this is gonna be my last question because I have to pee and I am so freaking tired. So I'll probably be heading out after this.
That's
if
fine.
that's all right. Okay. My inspirations are there's like I'm kind of like with Osri where it's like a billion different things, but I'd say like the main one, like, I mean, I've been like a fan of the Souls series for like 10 years, and the level design they have and their visual design is something that like I aspire to be. So that I would say that's like my biggest inspiration is like from software titles in general. That would be like the number one. And then for just general art direction, just like SNES, like SNES era, like sprite work. That's my type of shit. I love. It's like that blend between almost like realism, but still having like, you know, color in it. I love that. That's my jam. So yeah.
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 Thank you for stopping by, Scumhead.
Yeah. I'll listen to Ultra's
It was a ton of fun.
I don't feel like you have to. I feel like it's called Treasure Tech, and you take one look at it.
Wow!
It's like, whoa, that's what it's based. I had no idea.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know what I didn't know about the Wario games until Civi talked about them.
I mean, I guess if I could.
That was the most crushingly disappointed I've ever heard a person.
Oh.
Wow.
But yeah, very clearly, Treasure Tech's base is a lot of the personality and ideas and just brutishness of specifically Wario Land 4. There's a little bit of each Wario Land, but it's specifically Wario Land 4. It's on the surface, you know, it looks like a fun platformer where you throw guys around, tackle them, get treasure, and then there's the escape sequence. And all the enemies are weird. You go to these very, very varied locations, like all the factories, Toy World, like a Persian adventure, a beach. It's a little bit of everything. I always had the original vision that, like, I think that the whole system of with its gimmicks would translate really well into first person. And lo and behold, it did. At least in my opinion. A lot of people would agree with me, I feel like. It's very fun. It is I like brawling in first person. I like being able to just rush an enemy down, having that option. Like, you can't always do it, like if you're at low health, but being able to bully your enemies, it's like a mixture of having the strategy of what to do, but having the option to basically have this power fantasy every once in a while.
Like how in Wolfenstein you can rush down an enemy when they're alone and melee them, kind of.
Something like that. It's this whole new set of options that you would never normally get in Doom. So taking a lot of those elements and fusing them with, it's kind of like what everyone else. It's like countless inspirations. There's no way to point it down. When you look at Treasure Tech, the pistol is Mega Class. That's Marathon. The bobbing of all the weapons only goes up and down, just like Marathon. A lot of sounds are from Halo, for a very clear reason, because it's a very similar function to the Halo 1 pistol. The gun, the energy weapon is just the Daytona car turned into a firearm. Stuff like that. Just, I can't really point it down, but like definitely Warrior Land 4 is the biggest one. But really, it's a culmination of like all these things that I like in games, and like, how do I make it work? And then I find a way to make it work, and I pack it all together, and people really like it. It has this cartoony aspect, but at the same time, like really detailed. I guess the biggest main other inspiration would be Metal Slug, because the art style of the weapons that I went for, because I hand draw a lot of the art for Treasure Tech, like almost all of it. The chunkiness, the power, and the presence it has, I would say that Metal Slug would be like right next to Wario Land. So yeah, Wario Land, Metal Slug, first person. Just that's my answer.
All right, fellas. I think I'm gonna head to sleep for now. So
thank you for stopping by, Scum.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
Stop by anytime.
Yeah.
If we ever want to do these kind of things again, just let us know.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are now all my friendos, so thanks for inviting.
Yeah.
Hooray! All right, good night, guys. I'll see you
see ya.
later.
Go away.
I love you too, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I think next question.
Yee.
What do you guys want to do? How many more questions do you guys want to do?
Yeah, next question. Come on.
Yeah, what's the
I think-
whole...
Question 58,
no.
please. Yeah, question 58.
Yay.
I'm not gonna fucking count those.
I'm joking. Just
Got one.
So we've been at this for nearly 2.5 hours now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we do about 5 more questions.
Sure.
Does that sound good?
All right.
and then
We should probably tackle kind of like what we mentioned.
That's
Like
up
we'll
to you.
save it.
If you want to keep, we'll
Yeah,
save
but
the rest
why
for like a
5
second
then,
stream if we ever do one.
Yeah. I was
If
gonna.
we ever want to do like a second stream of this, we could save the rest of the questions for that.
Sure.
This isn't a question I can answer. I was gonna say we should probably tackle kind of the big one. We kind of like one that was directed toward me that we were saying we should skip over.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
A generalized one. We should probably tackle
Yeah, well,
that
we
one.
will probably do that last since it's a really, really big
Mhm.
one. If Osric doesn't have one for this, I can probably start.
I
This
don't
one
know
for the programming one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a CS degree. How do I put this though? Since it's my own personal passion project, I don't give a fuck how the syntax looks. I don't care how bootleg I have to make it. If it was for a
Oh my
client,
god! Stream's down.
oh,
wait,
Uh-oh.
it's not. What do you mean?
Oh, it's working on my end.
It's oh my god! Why did it break?
No,
for me?
it's fine. OBS says it's fine. OBS, I have
Okay,
a
okay,
green,
now it's back.
green image and
I'm sorry.
5,600
It was all my fault.
kilobits.
are we still good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Basically,
sorry. My computer crashed.
Oh,
Back.
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom so you guys can answer this while I'm gone.
but basically, I am very very messy because I don't give a crap. It's probably horrible. I think all my professors, if they saw me the way I was doing my stuff now, they'd be like, "What are you doing?" But hey, if I was doing it for a professional, like if I was being paid, that's absolutely different. This is just for me, so I'll just make it work. I am incredibly lazy when it comes to my programming.
Yeah.
Despite having a degree, I am like if there's like a model computer scientist, it is not me. Well,
Okay.
at least for my personal work, that's it.
Well, mine is somewhat related in that I started making Ultra Kill when I had really not that much programming experience because I'm not a programmer. Like the way I say it, I'm not a programmer. I just know how to program.
You had no formal training, or are you in the process of it?
I fucking formal trainings for fucking weak as cowards.
Oh,
like
I'm
me.
sorry, then. I'm sorry, then. I'm sorry. My diploma makes me a monster.
Yeah, but no, seriously though, I started Ultra Kill like way earlier than I should have. So a lot of the sort of core of the game, like the backbone, is so awful. It's so broken, and I keep having to work around it. And it's like you guys do not want to see what it looks like to have to make it so that enemies can take damage. It is a function with like 14 attributes. It is the worst thing ever, and I think like even like outside of just like the fact that I started way too early and my code is still really bad, is that I usually when I do like a quick placeholder solution, like I'll just make this work now and I'll fix it later, and I never look at it again, and it always bites me in the ass.
I never let it get that bad, but I'll admit, I guess I'm just a messy programmer at the end of the day.
Yeah, whatever, nerd.
Oh, I'm gonna break your spine with my knee. I think it's also a testament, though, that like non-programmers can get into the gaming industry nowadays. I think that's great.
Oh, Ultra, if you think what I said is bad, you have not seen what Dusk looks like under the hood.
Yeah, no. I've seen the Twitter posts. It sounds exactly what I think it is every time they talk about it.
If you like the things that get said in public, they are not even close to how bad it gets under the hood. Like Dusk is the perfect example of that. You don't need to be a programmer to make a good game.
Oh, that is. I completely believe you. I'm just gonna assume the worst.
It is very not good.
I remember one of the guys saying that made the entire soundtrack load all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the game was starting up.
That's why it takes so long to load. Is because it loads every single like music file at the very start of the game. So that's like 130 music files.
Yeah, when I read that specific one, I was laughing my ass off because I could definitely see like it's like, why is it doing this? Whatever, it works. Let's just run it. Yeah. And like later, it's like, oh, we were doing that. Like I've seen that whenever I was like during my capstone, like at university, we'd be like, what? Is it working? Yeah, but it's like running at like 10 FPS, and we look, and there's just this horrible, massive just thing that didn't need a load. Oh, it's funny. I'm glad everyone has these problems, even at like a professional level.
What professionals? Are they professionals?
Oh, I'm sorry, quote unquote professional.
There we go. So yeah, Mengo.
Excuse me. So this. I'm usually the kind of person that's like, I don't need to make it neat. I'm just gonna make it functional. I'll probably mess with it later, and then like, gotta make something do something for a certain amount of time, and instead of making it just like loop this amount of times, I just have the same line of code like 57 times.
Oh dear.
And it's like, it's horrible because it's like,
oh yeah, it's awful, but it's easy.
It works.
Sprays projectiles out in a pattern. It's like 8 lines of code. Multiply that by like 72, and you have like basically put that all across a game, and you know what it's like to look at my code.
But it works.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
yeah, that's the if you look at Treasure Tech's code, I do that because it's easy. If I was working for a client, I'd be like, oh yeah, make an anonymous function, make it loop. But it's like, I'm just doing this for me. Who's gonna look underneath? Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
Yeah, and
I don't care.
And one
Ruin
of the things-
the frame rate if you instead of putting a loop.
Everything get quieter. It's just me.
Yeah, I was confused.
Did everybody stop talking? Because
I thought you were asking a question. But I mean, I just wanted to say something real quick. Is that the funny thing about the whole programming thing is that most of the people I know who have actually finished games are the kind that don't really care about code quality, and most of the people I know who care about code quality have never finished a game.
You know what? That probably means I'm in a good position, and I'm the one who's probably the most qualified. That's so good. I hope that gives you guys happiness. It makes me happy. It shouldn't, but it does.
That scares me because my bud Elijah is like a pretty immaculate coder.
but at least like he isn't working solo, so that really helps. Because the big problem with good programmers is that they get sort of stuck on making their code better, and then they never progress. But if you have other people pushing it forward, then it's not really that big of an issue.
Yeah, no.
It's good to have someone like that in your corner, basically.
Yeah, he's
Like Peter.
Me.
He's an absolute magician, what he does. But yeah.
Maybe Peter had something to say.
Unlike Ultra, I don't have any formal programming education. I am a child of the internet, let's say. And over the years, I don't know, learned the proper way to do things. And I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but no, actually, I would say I'm a perfectionist. Oh, I can't speak perfectionist in things that are in ways that are bad, only. As in, I'm addicted. I don't know if addicted is a good word here, but I absolutely cannot stop when I'm working solo. I cannot stop rewriting everything. I have a unstoppable urge to scrap everything all the time, and
yeah, see, this is what I mean.
Wait, really? Like when it works, like you'll throw it away because you just don't like how it's running?
Yeah, it works, but the code is not good.
Like it could be better. Is that like?
Yeah, and I just if I make those systems nicer, I can make everything modular and nice, and so there goes rewrite number 5.
Yeah, that's at some point you have to buckle down and say I need to stop here.
Yeah, Hakira.
Because it can always be better. It can always be better, but you have to come to terms at some point.
Hakira's been teaching me that when it works, and I'm trying to embrace it as much as I can. You have,
as the computer scientist here, when it works, it works.
Yeah, you know what's better than good? Good enough.
Good enough is there's so many like programmer meme cartoon comics out there where the end result is always like, I asked for a swing, and the swing is just like a plank poorly tied with some wood. But hey, it's a swing. Who gives a fuck? It works.
Yeah.
But if you rewrite it 20 times, maybe you're gonna save a second in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, good luck with that for the rest of the week.
Life.
For that 1 second. I hope it's worth
Rest
it.
of the life. This isn't ending. I mean, yeah, but that's good. Hakita told me that when it works, and I'm trying to embrace that, and I want to pass it on to other people who struggle with the same thing.
I'm not saying like program like a slob, but you have to eventually, once it's functional, refine it if you need to, but
when it
it's
works,
time
it
to
works.
move on.
When it works, it works. And
gotta make other things, you don't just have the one thing.
Yes. So I think that's everything I want to say here. Yes.
Next question.
Hold on.
Hmm?
So we have about 4 questions left.
Yes.
Until death, yes.
Until we all die. We're
The
gone.
end of time.
We're just dead. This one's been asked a lot. It would be kind of a crime to not go with it. As someone who's just now starting to learn coding and learning about game development, I want to ask, what are your biggest challenges?
I know a good one. Finding a team, because you don't have any money when you start off, so you can't pay people. And like you can't expect to do everything well yourself, so you really have to find people who actually care about your game enough to work on it without having like money right off the bat.
I generally agree with the previous statements. I don't really have much to say.
Mine is pick a good engine, because sometimes you're going to want to make something that any other engine could do. But if you're picking a 20-year-old game engine that's running on a horribly optimized port, oh boy, you're going to have to jump through 20 loops to get what you want when someone else could have done it in 5 minutes. So pick a good engine.
I'd say for me,
don't run ZDoom.
I'd say.
Sorry, Mingo.
Get what you deserve.
I'd say probably the biggest one for me, and I mean, like, I don't necessarily know that I would say this was my biggest challenge, but I can easily see it being a big challenge for other people, is endurance. Because, like, it's friggin' hard. Like, it's time consuming. It's going to take you a long time to get from point A to point B, and you need to, and, like, sticking it out is going to be a mighty big challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Burnout is definitely a massive.
I mean, look at me. I've been doing this for 8 years.
Yeah, and like one of the I know a whole bunch of, especially since I went to a game design class and stuff. I know a bunch of game designers, and the biggest there's people who are much better at designing games than me that I know, and something that always happens is they just run out of passion for a project, and they halfway through they just start a different one, and then halfway through that they start a different one, and then they never actually end up finishing anything because it's really fucking hard to finish a game.
Yeah.
I know someone exactly like that, where they are incredibly talented, extremely smart, have all these great ideas, will flesh out enough to it's like there's something there. They don't take the time to finish it because they don't want to work on it anymore. They spent too much time on it. They want to work on something else, so they do. My stance on this is when you're feeling burned out, you need to take a step back. Because if you're going to work on something when you don't want to, it's not going to be good. The quality is just going to dip dramatically. People need to learn to, sometimes it's okay to put something down, but you have to have the discipline to come back.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, relatedly, something that I should have mentioned, the first thing you should do when you start making a game is make a lot of really small games.
Yes.
Don't do what me and Allstreak did. It is such a fucking pain in the ass to start a big game when you really don't have experience. It is the worst thing ever. You have to make a lot of, like starting off, you should spend, I don't know, I'll farewell, make it just, one game a month, maximum 1 month on a single game. And that way you can improve the basics. You understand your tools, you understand what kind of efficient ways are to do things, you learn things over time, and then when you actually start a big project, you don't have to look back, you don't have to keep fighting against your past self who made really bad decisions early on.
It's like a second chance, but you lined everything up, so it's like a guaranteed second chance. Yeah, the same thing can be said for a lot of cases I've seen in the Doom community. A lot of people will be like, I want to make a project. They immediately jump into making their magnum opus, and they crash. They people need to start small. I think this applies to any game development. Yes. You need to start small because you learn a toolkit, and you'll get a better idea of what you can do and what you want to do by the time it comes to your big one.
I'm curious. What did you do starting out, Ultra?
Let me put it this way. The magnum opus thing. I had the idea. I started with a few things of some small edits here and there, but then I was pretty ambitious. I was like, I'm like at the time I was like sophomore year of university at like during the summer, and I was like, I could do this. I'm an artist. I can make all the assets. I can just get sounds from wherever because I'm just making like a mod. Like I'm not selling this, so that's on the table. Yeah. I made a few experiments, and I was like, this seems like it would be a really cool idea. So I did that, and then I had this slow realization early on, like I shouldn't have done this. But one of the reasons why Treasure Tech took so long to develop is because basically there was a Treasure Tech that was done, and I looked at it, and I went, I can do better. So I did it better. So basically, I guess I had mini magnum opuses that kept refining over and over again until it became what it is. And I won a CAC award. People love it. I think it all worked out. I'm really proud of my work, you know.
It is really good.
I busted my ass on that, and people told me, like, hey, I could see you busted your ass on this. Good job. And I'm like, thank God.
You busted your ass so people could bust the
Still
nuts.
Treasure Tech?
Yes.
You're gonna sell Treasure Tech, right?
Oh no.
No, hell no. I want it to
Why
be.
not?
Well, first of all, I don't need to hire a composer, and I don't need to make any of the map textures. I only need to make some of the map textures. Otherwise, I can just edit them from other games, and it makes it so much faster. Maybe one day, 50 years from now, but not now. Not now.
I would buy Treasure Tech.
I would.
I know.
So you could help his fucking a lawyer costs.
I've had ideas of if I do go into game development, I'm gonna make a 2D game after this. Maybe like if I want to make a commercial game. Otherwise, I have some future projects. I'm gonna continue working in GZ Doom for a bit. I don't want to let it go just yet.
Yeah. Hey, you can make something in GZ Doom you can sell, or Z Doom or whatever that happens to be.
That's true. At the same time, I feel like if I'm gonna make something commercial, I want to corner a market that I really like that no one else has.
Yeah.
No one's made a really good Metal Slug.
You should say that publicly so I can make a game before you.
I thought that was a joke. I legitimately didn't think people would do that.
It was a joke.
Because
do you think I'm gonna start making a fucking game while Ultra Kill is still like halfway through development?
By the way,
Probably.
By the way, Combine Keegan is in the chat. His stuff is really great too.
Combine Keegan is one of my great friends. We hang out almost daily. He is a veteran Doom modder. He's been a huge help to me starting early in the. So shout outs to him, to my buddy Keegan.
He's wonderful.
He threatens me constantly, but I deserve it because I say stupid shit all the time.
Does he like Half-Life?
He likes Sven co-op, so I guess he does like Half-Life.
Awesome.
I don't.
How about
That's understandable. If you don't like Half-Life, I totally get it, but I like it a lot.
I love Half-Life. What's your favorite I feel like we're going off topic.
Yeah, just, before we move on, maybe Mango and Peter have something to say?
Yeah.
I guess it's. Oh no, I don't really have anything to say.
Peter?
Ooh, hang on, right back.
It's a tricky one. Biggest challenges. I don't think I have anything to say.
Alright, then we can move on.
Great.
4 questions, I think. Something like that. So let's just do 2 more.
No problem, Keegan.
Here's a good one. Osric. Osric should talk about the Blender game engine.
Oh God.
Maybe
I remember this
maybe
one.
we should start this.
Oh God. So no, that was not actually the question I started. So for those of you who don't know, when I started out, like the Blender game engine is what I started with, and when we get to the question about like how we got started in the first place, I will get into why I started with the Blender game engine. But the Blender game engine is where kind of Viscera Fest found its footing, and how it kind of came into being, if we will. But I was using the Blender game engine for a long time, and it is one of the biggest travesties to grace or disgrace or whatever you want to frame it as the gaming development scene that is known to man. Like, that thing is a train wreck of epic proportions. And we have an older build of Viscera Fest that is available on our Discord server under somewhere buried in our like announcements channel, which is called Extra Crispy. And that thing, we refer to it as Jankera Fest now, because I had to jump through so many hoops to do the most basic of crap in that thing, and it was an absolute nightmare. So, like, for example, so we had a system set up, or I had a system, because this was when it was just me working on Viscera Fest. Because a lot of the people who are helping us now, they didn't join the project until more recently. But the original version of Viscera Fest, which ran on the Blender game engine, what sort of games use the Blender game engine? None. You will never find.
I found a list of like 5 of them.
There's like 5 games that run on the Blender game engine, and most of them are not good. But yeah, so there's the Blender game engine. I was starting off. I was making boss fights, right? I was making a boss fight for Viscera Fest, and the boss had a health bar, right? And so Blender has this thing where it's like, in order to have like animations play out, right? What you have to do is you have to basically tie it to like an action, like an animation system that will like, you'll pick the animation you want to play. You'll say what frame to what frame you want it to play at, and so on and so forth. And this animation thing had a thing that would basically say, hey, I want to tie this animation's frames to a value. So so basically I would say, okay, when this value is equal to this number, it will play this numbered frame of the animation. So let's say I have, the boss's health. He has 1,000 health points, let's say, for example. It would, frame 1,000 would be the boss's health bar is full, and frame 0 would be the boss's health bar is empty. Basically what would happen is, when the number is equal to 1,000, it will play frame 1,000 of the animation. And, as it goes down, it would kind of, make it look like the boss's health bar was going down as you were killing it. Here's the problem. That animation thing is bugged. And it's never going to be fixed because they actually removed the engine from Blender. But so what happens is every time that animation thing is triggered, it reverts to the very first frame of the animation and then back to the frame it's supposed to be at. Which would mean whenever you're shooting a boss, it caused this weird flickering of the health bar because the very first frame of the animation is the part of the animation where the boss's health bar is nothing, it's gone, it's dead. And then it would bounce back to the frame it was supposed to be at. But sometimes it wouldn't bounce back, which means it would just look like the boss's health bar had just disappeared. So what I had to do was I had to go in and manually tie each value to a certain frame of the animation.
Oh my god!
So, I would say, when this is equal to this, when this value is equal to this number, it will play frame 20 of the animation, and just frame 20. And I had to do that, and I broke it down so it wasn't as much. But I think at the end of the day, if I were to break it down, the boss's health bar, I probably had to do that 50 times, in order to I tied 50 values to 50 frames of the animation, and even then it would have massive gaps where it was if you did a certain amount of damage to the boss, it wouldn't register as the health bar going down because it didn't because I didn't have a value that was like small enough picked out that would allow for that. So I had to deal with that nightmare. There was so the thing that actually killed Viscera Fest being on the Blender game engine was I had a bud of mine who he runs a show called the Quake Grave. His name is Art. His like YouTube name is Art. Handle is RC. Wonderful man. If you guys have not seen his YouTube channel, go watch his stuff. He's fantastic. But he was doing some testing on the game for me. And when he was doing some, he had played like an old, because I had a version of the demo publicly available that was on the Blender game engine. And he had played that, and he'd been able to play it fine or whatever. Despite, I mean, like that demo is a mess. But anyways, so he had played that, and then I was doing some beta testing because I had the second episode ready. And I sent it over to him, and he could not get it to open. And so he tried uninstalling it, reinstalling it. We tried messing around with like task manager stuff and like trying to compile errors or whatever to try to figure out what the heck was going on. And now, not only could he not play the current version of the game, but when he went back to play the old demo, that wouldn't open up either. So basically, the newer version of the game had killed the older version of the game too. And we and I was just like, I can't ship a game with this thing. Like, I can't do this. Like, this is such a friggin' mess. And oh god, it was such a nightmare. I'm trying to think what else. So I couldn't do so I was struggling with how I was going to handle sprites on the engine for a long time because it required some like back-end trickery and stuff like that to like get it to play the frames out the way I wanted. And what I actually ended up having to do was every different sprite was a different object in the game, and every time it would play an animation, it would replace the sprite with a different object.
Oh my god. That seems like it'd be a massive overload very quickly.
So like when I had like animated waterfalls and stuff like that, it was a different object. And oh god, it was oh
man,
I could only afford to have a maximum of 20 enemies in a level at a time, and that includes spawning them after the fact. Like if I couldn't do like what Ultra Kill does, where like you walk into a room and a bunch of enemies spawn, so I don't have to worry about them overloading performance because they're always there. No, even the spawners take performance because the Blender game engine is just that friggin' unoptimized. It's like impossible to get anything to run well on the Blender game engine. Like I've seen people like attempt even smaller games and like they cannot get the thing to run well because it's just that poorly optimized. But like I could have like a maximum of, like I said, 20 enemies, and that was if I was lucky. When I was getting to the end of like the period where I was working with the Blender game engine, there was a level I was working on where I could only get a maximum of 8 enemies in the level before the frame rate would tank to 40. Oh, and the frame rate was tied to game speed, so I had to cap the frame rate, and I capped it at 100 because that was like the most achievable frame rate that I could get to without like that wasn't like because for me personally, I cannot stand playing at 60 frames per second. Like it makes me motion sick. But like I have to play.
How does it make you motion sick?
I just can't look at it. It like hurts my eyes. It like
so you have to play 100 frames per second.
I have to play like the bare minimum I can stomach is 80. Like 80 is like the bare minimum.
Wow.
I know some people that have similar like sensitivities.
I also can't play it like, and people like pick on me for this all the time. I play with super high FOV because like the bare minimum FOV I will tolerate period is 110. Anything below that I cannot handle. I usually
legitimately just make you motion sick.
Yeah, it does. It legitimately just makes me motion sick. Like the bare minimum I play at is like 120, 140, somewhere in that range. And it's actually why like some people, if you've played Viscera Fest, you'll know. Our FOV slider goes up to 180, and like it is so zoomed out that like everything is just like blurred lines. And the reason I did that is because like there's so many games where they like cap how high you can set your FOV to like 90, and like I hate it when they do that. Like it drives me nuts. So I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna commit to like just like making like an absolutely stupid joke out of this. because I cannot tolerate it when games do that. It drives me absolutely mad. Because I just can't play the game at that point. I have to like get mods and stuff to try and make it so I can stomach it. But yeah, so that's the Blender game engine.
It sounds like it was made out of like bubblegum and tape.
Oh, it was. It absolutely was.
Like,
and it is torture to play. Oh, the movement system.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Maybe,
sorry.
maybe we need to move on.
Yeah, okay.
Can't
If
spend
that's
an hour
not enough
talking
to
about how terrible it is.
If that's not enough to
Alright.
convince anyone in the audience that the Blender game engine sucks, I don't know what will.
Alright, this is the last question.
We actually did have a specific question in mind for the last question,
Yes.
which was the one that we got by far the most, which was, how did you get started on your game? Like, what was the origin of the idea, the concept? Like, how did you start your game and why? And I think maybe it might be better to not start with Osric so he doesn't talk for half an hour in a row because of the previous question.
Osric already did it. He
Yeah.
talked about.
Okay, yeah.
I've not talked about it yet, but like I'll let somebody else talk about it.
Okay,
Alright, go
well,
ahead.
I guess
it.
I can start, which was because it does have a somewhat barely interesting story to it, which was previously I was working on a stealth game called Untraceable, and basically it was just something me and a friend were like, oh, it would be cool if we made a stealth game that had like the sort of because often in stealth games there was like a thing where it's like, well, you can fucking knock over a building, and as long as like the guard was turned around when you did it, then it doesn't matter. Like they don't remember things. So we wanted to make a game where it's like, if you open a door, then you have to also close it, otherwise the guards will notice something's wrong. All kinds of things like that. And then we were all doing all kinds of interesting things. It has some cool mechanics and stuff. And then when I started the game design school that I was at previously, I had a classmate who was the only other person in the class who had actually made games before that. He played it, and he was like, after like 5 minutes, he just stopped playing it, and he said, I don't want to play this, it's not fun. And then that was like, yeah. And then that was just like it was like fucking blew my mind, because I was like, you know what? I never actually thought about how to make it fun, because you would assume that it's fun just by being interesting, but that's not true. You actually have to put effort, like a lot of effort and design into how to actually make a game fun, because they are not automatically fun. So then I just fucking scrapped the project, because fuck that. I don't even play stealth games, honestly. I don't even know why I did that. And it's like, okay, I start a new project, and I started just like taking all these things. Like, I started listing out things that I think are fun in games. It's like, okay, fast-paced action, ridiculous violence, hard as fuck. I started putting all these ideas together and started thinking about, okay, well, I love the style system in DMC. I'll take that. I love the fast pace of so all these high fucking super action games or whatever, and I'll take that, and then I just put them into one pile, and then try to, like, even from the very start, the number one thing I needed to do, even before I made enemies, was try to make everything feel as good as possible. Like, even just before you even have a game, it's like, okay, I have to put everything into sound design, put all the possible juice effects you can, and just like make it the most over-the-top, instant gratification, fun video game, and then worry about the actual game afterwards. So that it was always like fun first, and then everything else afterwards. And then it sort of slowly started forming from that, and I won't go into the rest, because honestly, you can actually just go to my YouTube channel. You can go search Akira on YouTube, and you'll find my channel. And I have, from like the very beginning of development, I have videos of how the game had slowly formed into what it is now.
Awesome. Mingo, what about you?
So I first got into Doom modding from Doom. but from
Wow.
a Mega Man 8-bit Deathmatch, the game I mentioned earlier. I saw there was this file in it called Doom2.wad. It's like, oh, what's this? I started it up and I'm like, oh, it's all brown and boring. This isn't Mega Man.
What did you
Then
think
I
it
didn't
was?
like it. And
Did you not know what
Mega
Doom
Man
was?
8-bit Deathmatch. I was a little kid at the time.
Oh.
I was like
I'm
12.
an old man here, I guess. I'm an eldritch being compared to all of you.
You're the same age as Hakia. So.
I guess we're eldritch beings.
Oh, wow. But and I decided to like download a thing to like download Slate and was like, oh man, I want to make these levels for Mega Man 8-bit Deathmatch. I did not know anything about first-person shooters, so that fell through, and I was like, hey, I should start making things in Doom, I guess. And that's how things came to be.
So you started trying to make something for Mega Man because you thought it was a Mega Man game, not Doom. You thought Doom was a
I
Mega
know
Man
it wasn't
game.
an official Mega Man game. But like,
I was gonna say. I mean, you said you were dumb and young, so I still wasn't sure.
I was dumb, not an absolute idiot.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah, so basically, I made Trine 2 because of Plan B. Well, I mean, I didn't.
Groin too.
Trine.
I'd say this is one of those questions where I'm irrelevant and we can skip.
Hey, come on.
I mean, you
come
can
on.
talk about how
Peter,
you got involved.
You
in
can't
Ultimate.
skip the last question.
You can't skip the last question.
I can.
It is his stream.
Like you're not.
Again, you can talk about like how you got involved with like Ultra Kill and stuff.
It's alright if you don't want to. I feel like it's.
Yeah, I'll think I'll skip.
That's
Professor
perfectly
Peter.
fine.
That's fine. Alright, Ultra, what about you?
Well, I touched on it a bit, but I guess this will be the more detailed story. Sophomore, going into junior year of university, I was spending a summer at a friend's house, staying there instead of going back home with my folks, because I didn't want to move out of the state just for the summer. And I'd been familiar with Doom in the past. But I hadn't played it in a bit. I was watching a streamer at the time that I was a fan of, and he played a Doom mod called Golden Souls, which is its own full campaign. It's elements of Mario and Whimsy fused with Doom all into one universe. And I was blown away, because the concept of having really vibrant, colorful levels filled with all sorts of fun gimmicks and just fantastical weapons and just fun, taking that setting and making it just a whole different flavor. I was like, this is incredible. I want to play this. How do I get it? Got the tools, got the stuff, got the iWads, got it all ready, played it. I loved it. I started looking more into it. Playing all these, it turns out, on the surface, I feel like a lot of people see Doom modding and think brutal Doom. There's so many amazing things people have made. So for a few months, I was playing and having a great time. Eventually, though, I was thinking to myself, well, I'm a computer science major. I'm an artist. I draw things all the time. Why don't I make my own? How hard can it be? Started looking at some tutorials. At first, it was more of opening up other people's projects and prodding at them. That's a common story you'll hear in the Doom community. Just see how other things work. Then I made my own things.
Yeah.
And then seeing a post between Keegan and another Doom community member, they were talking about getting a motorcycle into Doom, and I was like, oh, if you do that, you could have like Wario, right? That you could have like a first-person Wario. You can make that with Doom. It'd be like the foil to Golden Souls. they're like, actually, my buddy Keegan, he actually really likes Wario Land. Maybe you should talk to him. Then, slowly but surely, I kind of got my foot into the door of the community and learned a lot, kept getting better, started my own project with my own characters and ideas. That kept getting more and more refined. But 3 years later, Treasure Tech's out. A lot of people know who I am. A lot of people have hired me because of the work I've done. They're very impressed with what I've done. And now I'm making a full game for Treasure Tech, because that was always the plan. Make something to get people to know what Treasure Tech is, then make the actual game I had in mind. I feel like I've grown a lot in just a few years since then. I've graduated. I'm on my own. But there was nothing like that I've ever done in my life. I've drawn lots of funny pictures and comics for people, but making a game was such a brand new medium. Getting to meet people that I never would have imagined before. I have a lot of friends, but some of the creative stuff I do is just not relatable at all, and I can't talk about it with them. But when I got into the Doom community, all of a sudden there's tens and hundreds of people that know exactly how I feel, and I can talk to them about it. So I gotta say, getting into game development really helped bring a massive amount of just purpose in my life. So I'm really glad that just looking at someone else's game and thinking, maybe I can do that, and then just doing it, it ended up working out really well. And now I'm here on a game developer panel. This is nuts. I'm very thankful to the entire journey here, just from starting out editing a Super Shotgun all the way to posting previews of these massive levels I'm making with these custom-made weapons and this whole world I've created that people want to keep up with. So that's my story.
A lot to me. That this means that this whole thing I put together means a lot to you. I have always wanted to be a part of this community. All your guys' stories have always really inspired me, and I personally have just started really early development on a game. I want to have two levels of a Wolfenstein out by the end of summer, probably July, something like that. I've got some ideas running around, and I'm excited. You guys are really great. It's really awesome to talk to you guys. Thank you for being. Thank you for stopping by. It was a lot of fun. I'll keep you guys up to date, and if you guys want to do finish the Trello questions at another time, probably like next Sunday or something, maybe.
Oh, what about me? I'm here still.
No, Ostrich, answer the question. We have one last person. Let's
He did already.
No, I didn't.
He did not.
I said I was gonna get to it when we answered the last question.
He did not do it yet.
So
dumb. Okay, postpone that. Erase that from your mind. Osri, go.
So
I was my curse.
I was 8 years old, and all the way back in 2008, and I had really wanted to get into animation. I wanted to do like 2D animation and 3D animation, all this stuff. And I was talking to my dad, and I was like, "Hey, can you find me like a program that I can use to like learn how to get into like animation?" And yeah, sure, I'll see if I can find something. He found this program for me, and I could not for the life of me figure out how to use it, because this thing had this was like, you know, I think this was like kind of before YouTube became a big thing. Yeah, so like I had no idea how to use this thing. There was like no video documentation on it. All there was like this obscenely massive manual online with like, that was, you know, like a dictionary's worth of literature basically. And I was like, I can't, I was an 8-year-old, you know, like I didn't have the attention span to figure all that out. So I kind of skipped on that. And then when I was 12, my dad came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I remember this was something you were really interested in doing." And I found this program called Blender. And I figure there's a lot of online tutorials and stuff. So, you know,
that sounds like a really good program for making a game.
So it was like, yeah, like I know you want to be getting like 3D animation and stuff, and there's this program with stuff that you can there's lots of tutorials and stuff, and you could probably pretty easily figure it out. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I started working with it, and I made progress pretty quickly. I was learning like 3D modeling, animation, and stuff like that. I was really getting into it, and then I saw there was a tutorial on how to use the game engine, and I was like, oh, I can make video games with that. And being a 12-year-old, I was like immediately just like, yes, I wanna get into doing this, and so I like almost immediately kind of shifted gears. I was still doing a little bit of animation stuff on the side, but I was primarily focused on like I want to make a game. So I started out. I was working with like a bunch of like random ideas. Like I was bouncing ideas off my friends. We were coming off with like all these like stupidly ambitious things that there was no way in hell I was ever gonna make. And I kind of my mentality at the time was I'm going to like start a project. If I get bored of that project, I'll jump to a different project. And then when I'm become interested in that project again, I will return to it. So that way, no matter what, I'm making progress on something, and I'll never get burned out on something because I can just jump to something else that I want to make. And that didn't really work out, and I got nothing done. But at the time, in 2012 was like the year I was like introduced to first-person shooters, and I like absolutely fell in love with first-person shooters. And so I wanted to make my own first-person shooter. So I started out, and like it was kind of like a bit of a Halo, like I would say when I first started out, and I was bouncing around a lot between different ideas and what this was eventually going to turn into. I knew I wanted to be like science fiction themed and all that stuff like that, but it wasn't till around about, like I said, 2013 when I found Doom for the first time. And I found Doom because I couldn't afford to get games. I was just playing free-to-play stuff at the time. And I found on Newgrounds, somebody had posted the shareware version of Doom. And I found it, and I kind of played it on the side. I wasn't super into it. It was like, like I enjoyed more. I've always enjoyed more single-player oriented stuff. Like the only reason I was playing the multiplayer games is because like I couldn't afford to get like a single-player games. But I found Doom, and it was like, it's kind of single-player oriented, but something about it kept bringing me. And I think for me it was like almost like I hear a lot of talk about like almost how we're in like the era where like mystery in games is kind of gone. And for me, like that was like kind of the first game I remember where I was like I didn't know anything about this, and like because I was playing it on a browser, I couldn't actually save any of my progress. So anytime I was playing on this when I was supposed to be doing school because I was homeschooled. And so I was playing that, and it wasn't until 2014 that I got the full version of the game, and I got the source port, and I became super inspired, and I was like, I want to make a game like this. And it didn't like immediately plunge into like becoming Viscera Fest. It was sort of like a bit of a journey to get to the point where the game is to where it is now. Like I said, I kind of started working in games back when I was 12, and the first-person shooter, sci-fi first-person shooter as I called it back then, was kind of where like Viscera Fest started. But like it eventually, like through the road to get here, it was a lot of I eventually around about 2014 is like when I kind of suckered up and I was like, I'm gonna focus on making one thing. And I made tons of different versions of it that got scrapped because I would learn so much, and then like everything I had done before was like kind of like, I can do this better now, and I'd scrap it and I'd start all over because of course I did. Why would I ever try and make any progress? And then like probably the current version started around about 2016. It was still in Blender, but a lot of the stuff that was made in Blender was retained, and like it's when like Viscera Fest, what you guys know as now, is effectively kind of began. So yeah, it was pretty crazy, and I'm here now somehow. So that's weird.
Just
Now,
so weird.
I do believe this is the end of the stream.
Maybe.
Yay!
Yay!
I don't know if the man had a question for us.
I don't know. Maybe you could talk a bit more about the movement system in the Blender game engine.
Next time.
Love to know.
A story for another time, for another man that is not me.
That's our cliffhanger.
So, as I was saying, we may come back at some point, probably next week, maybe, I don't know, to answer the rest of the Trello questions, because there's still quite a few more. Again, you guys are inspirations to me, and it's amazing to be able to talk to you guys. It means a lot to me. Hearing your stories it inspires me to want to work to do something, because I've been a part of this this community for a while now, about a year or so, I don't know, and just knowing that these people have made something that I've sunk almost hundreds of hours of my life playing into, knowing that they are open to just talk to me, like I just had to ask you guys like once or twice, and you guys came in on this. And it means a lot. Thank you guys.
I enjoyed being here and having this discussion. It was very fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thank you guys for watching the stream. Peter, you know what the outro.
There is
Yeah.
an outro.
Don't you know?
Yeah,
that
the outro is you singing the entirety of Master of Puppets by Metallica.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's just gonna.
We could all we'll do the karaoke. We'll sing it.
It's gonna cut off like abruptly any second now.
karaoke.